Good afternoon and welcome back to the FPL Tom YouTube channel. We are here ahead of the Game Week 9 deadline. We've got a long time till, of course, we do hit that deadline. And in today's stream, we're going to be answering your guys' questions. We're going to be reviewing your teams and, most importantly, getting you ready for the upcoming game week. Now, of course, if you've got any questions, get them in the chat. Make sure you're liking the stream. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button as well. We smashed through 20,000 subscribers last week. Let's see where we can take this bad boy. 25k by the end of the season. I mean, it would be absolutely incredible if we could do that. I can already see that the chat is popping off nice and early in today's stream. I absolutely love to see that. CFC Harry says, big up, Tom. We got Harry Carter in the chat. We've got Jamie, one of our channel moderators as well. Hope everybody is doing very, very good on this Friday afternoon. Like I said, we're going to be live up until probably about like 4:30, and then we'll, of course, let the big boys go and do their thing. But right now, we are just going to try and, blitz through people's questions, do some team reviews as well. So if you are looking forward to today's stream and appreciate the content that I do put out, make sure you are hitting that like button. It pushes the stream out to more people. And of course, make sure you're hitting subscribe as well. Plenty more FPL content coming your way throughout the upcoming season. I have put a poll out asking you guys whether or not you would be buying Enzo Fernandez this week. That is one of the big players that, of course, I am looking at with my team. 65% of you, interestingly, have put no. So it'll be interesting to see how that does develop as we get more and more people in the chat. We've also got the time for team reviews as well. There is a tweet right now on my X or Twitter, and it literally says, leave your team reviews here. That is the place you want to go and put them. They will be done at 2:30, 3, 3:30, and 4. So plenty of chances to, of course, get your teams in for review. And like I said, we'll look to get some of those done within the next hour or so as well. Ben, hope you're doing good, my friend. He says, any Isaac news? What's the news with injuries? It looks like he is going to be assessed and may feature. That's what came out of today's press conference. So that's unfortunately all I've really got for you. He's going to be assessed, and they're basically just going to wait and see, I guess. In terms of other team news, we do have it on the bottom ticket as well, as you can see there. Anderson is out for game week 9. Alderente is out as well. Delap has returned to training but won't feature in game week 9, but could, according to Maresca, maybe see some minutes in game week 10. And Evan Nielsen, just before I went live, has been confirmed out as well for game week 9. Again, they are assessing him. He should probably be back for game week 10. So if you're thinking about bringing in Krupik Jr. and expecting him to be a long-term asset, probably would temper those expectations a little bit. In terms of the moves that I've already made then so far this week, I went into game week 9 with 5 free transfers. We've already made 2 of them. We took out Reinders and we took out Gokeres. We've brought in Saka and we have brought in Krupik Jr. It is very much a luxury move, but of course, when you've got 5 free transfers, you can take those luxury moves. There are 2 other moves, though, that I am thinking about before, of course, the deadline does strike tonight. These are the moves that I'm thinking about. Let's bring up the transfers. So it is going to be taking out Caicedo, and it's going to be taking out Tarkowski, and it's going to be bringing in Michael Keane. Or is he? Michael Keane, and bringing in Enzo Fernandez. That would be how the team would then look for this week. Obviously, we'd start Enzo ahead of Caicedo, and we still probably would start Joe Rodon ahead of Keane. Probably. I'm not sure on that one. Maybe we might just let the coin decide, to be honest. So yeah, they're the 2 moves that, of course, I have thought about this game week. Those are the ones that I, of course, have outlined with obviously some transfers still left in the bank. This is how the team could look. We'd have 0.5 million. Or we have 0.5, or is it 0.2 we've got? I can't actually quite remember. 0.5 in the bank. Oh, 0.5. Hang on. What the hell is this doing? Right. There we go. 0.5 in the bank to make those moves. So, yeah, that's the position we would be in. It would also mean that we would complete the midfield of all penalty-taking players. Saka, Semenyo, Enzo, and Dai and Bruno, all penalty takers. Obviously, there are some that have, like, caveats and stuff, like Saka, Gokeres, it's still up in the air. Semenyo, Kluivert, still up in the air. But, you do feel like these guys are probably, you know, within contention of penalties. So that is something that I'm always looking for with my game. I'm always looking to get those penalty takers in. You know, it's a cheat code I absolutely love to go and exploit. Like I said, if you are enjoying today's stream, make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing. Let's see what's kicking off in the chat then. I can already see we've got lots of regular viewers in there. So thank you, everybody, for coming out. Have you considered starting Coopering for Caicedo? Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. My big concern is, though, do I want to go, like, double Bournemouth attack against a newly kind of Sean Dyche team that just managed to get their first clean sheet in 20 games? That is where my concern lies with that one. So yeah, who to pick to start, Tossin or Rodon? I would go Tossin. Start Rodon, bench. So actually, back on that one, I would quickly check the predicted lineups. By the way, if you can hear like background noise or like building work, there are people, like, there's a car park. So where my flat is, there's a car park outside my bedroom window to like the other building's car park. I have no idea what the work they're doing. They're like up on the roof. They've got like a cement mixer down on the floor. They're like just everywhere. Genuinely, they're just everywhere. So yeah, it's just, if you hear them, I apologize. There's not really too much I can do. Should I start Rodon over Sarr? Ooh, maybe, yeah. They've got quite good clean sheet percentages this week, have Leeds. So, yeah, I probably would. Hi, Tom. Bench and headache. Bench 1, Sarr, Gordon, Gokres, or Caicedo. I think Sarr for me. Foden to Mbeumo, or hold Foden for one more week. I probably would make the move to Foden. Asking people in the chat if there are Chelsea fans in here. Yeah, probably best place to look is on FPL Meerkat's stream. On X. He posts all the lineups and stuff. Jamie says he bought Reece James last night. We've had a super chat in the as well. Thank you very much, Bertman, for the $2. He says 2 free transfers. Foden to Enzo and die for 2 free transfers. Foden to Enzo / and die for Reinders or Stack. I like if you're bringing in Enzo and die. I like it. I think that's what you're trying to say, right? I like the moves you have suggested there for me. Those moves make sense. And I would probably maybe look to get rid of, like, Stack first. Like, Reinders could maybe just see decent minutes over the next few and still be a really good pickup. Whereas Stack, I think, like, that ship has sailed and I don't think he's that guy. So, yeah, I probably would go for it. Tom, who do you think I should have, Bruno Fernandes or Mbeumo? I think Mbeumo definitely has the bigger open play threat, but Bruno Fernandes is a guy that I've spoken about heavily throughout this season. He's got penalties, he's got DEFCON. His baseline BPS is currently the second best within the game, which usually means if he's going to get an attack in return, he's probably going to come away with some sort of bonus points as well. I do just think there is a lot going for Bruno and a lot of kind of, you know, just routes to points, different avenues to points, which is the big thing I'm looking for this season in a lot of my players is, do they have multiple avenues to points? And what do I mean by that? I mean, does this player hit DEFCON? Does this player have penalty share? Does this player take corners and free kicks? Does this player have open play threat? All of those things, like, you know, baseline BPS, all of those things together, for me, make a good FPL asset. If they've got those factors where they can hit multiple different avenues of points. And now I feel with my midfield, I've probably got a collection of those players that can definitely do all of those big things as well. Whose baseline BPS is the best? It is currently, surprise, surprise, Gardner from Everton. But it's very rare that he hits attacking returns, whereas Bruno Fernandes does hit attacking returns. So you see my point? Like, a lot of the other baseline BPS monsters within the game are usually DMs, because you got to think, like, a lot of the game goes through them. They'll be completing a lot of passes, they'll be making a lot of tackles and interceptions, so they're going to naturally just be hovering around the 10-14 anyway. That's usually why you see when Caicedo gets a goal, he then automatically jumps to like 2 or 3 bonus, because his baseline is already incredible, right? It's already like a 10-14er, so then he scores, that's an additional set of points to his total already and bumps him further up. So that's what it is. Like I said, apologies if you can't hear any building work. They are being quite loud outside. Unfortunately, I can't have any control. It's not any work I'm getting done, it's work outside of the building. So yeah, apologies if you do hear any building work. Like I said, if you're enjoying today's stream, make sure you're absolutely smashing that like button. Let's see if we could get to 50 likes nice and early. Would be great to see. Opinions on Saka captain. I genuinely would not overthink it with captaincy right now. I personally would just look at Haaland for me. Worth taking a punt on Gakpo. I brought him into my fan team. Liverpool's fixtures over the next set are really good. Like, genuinely, they've got some of the best projected goal numbers. And it was interesting that they, managed to wallop a Frankfurt side. But I don't know whether or not it's because Frankfurt have been terrible at conceding goals so far this season. Like, genuinely, really, really bad at conceding goals so far this year. I think that takes them up to, like, over 50 goals conceded already this season, which is just ridiculous. But I do think Gakpo looks like a very good option. It is, of course, just the big minutes risk is the issue that would probably put me off. Like, I think here you've got a selection of the midfielders that, for me personally, feel like probably 5 of the best midfielders you can get in the game right now. All of these guys, probably bar Sarr, like, their minutes, I would say, are very secure. Again, it's that multiple avenues to points thing, but I do like Gakpo. I think he could be a good option. Is it worth taking a -4 to take out Stack and Evanilson, Kuprig and Enzo? I think with Evanilson being back next week, it doesn't make as much sense. So yeah, maybe not on that -4. What to do with Ekdal? 2 games, no play, just bench and roll. I mean, if you can get away, like if you don't need him, if you've got your bench boost out of the way, don't worry about it. Don't put any more effort into it than it is kind of required, really. If you're going to have to maybe start him in some games, or maybe, you've not got that bench boost out of the way, then, of course, that is a conversation where we might have to look to use some transfers. Munoz or Van de Ven, who should I start this week? Spurs, who've they got this week? They've got Everton. I would maybe be tempted with Munoz. Hit DEFCON in the game in midweek. Hit it in the last Premier League game as well. Has some attacking threat. And, I just think there's more going for him. Whereas Van de Ven, I think you are very much clean sheet. He's not hitting DEFCON. So, I think you've only got one route to points there. Whereas Munoz, I see it as you've got a guy that can get attacking returns, can hit DEFCON and has hit DEFCON. And maybe in the off chance they keep a clean sheet, they keep a clean sheet. But Spurs haven't get one since game week 4. So, again, make of that what you will. Goodmanson, Timber, or Munoz start 1. I have Gabriel and Senesi starting. I'd probably go double up at the back and go chuck Timber in there as well. Arsenal's clean sheet numbers are just ridiculous. Buy into it. Get them in. Easy peasy. That's the way I'd go with that one. Kudus to Enzo for free. Yeah, I'd do that move. Burn or Tarkowski starter for game week 9. Who've Newcastle got this week? They've got Fulham. I would probably go with Burn. Yeah, I probably would go with Burn. I'm between Enzo and Ndai for Reinders. Already have Caicedo. I think both are great. Like, genuinely, both are great. I think Enzo probably maybe has the better fixtures over the next few weeks compared to Ndai. So that would probably edge it for me, and I probably would select Enzo. Look, at the end of the day, I really like both players, and I think both of them could score exceptionally well over the next few weeks. I think they're actually projections are very, very similar over the next few weeks. So I don't think you kind of probably maybe going to kick yourself. But who knows? Maybe one of them goes off. Maybe one doesn't. Any news on Lau Foster dead leg situation? I haven't seen anything. I will keep my eyes peeled, though. Start 1 of Richards, Xhaka, or Ismail Assar. I probably would go... Who've Sunderland got this week? Chelsea. Okay. Maybe Xhaka, because he will hit DEFCON. I'm fairly confident he'll probably hit DEFCON in this game. So maybe Xhaka and hope that he hits a baseline. Like, that's probably where I would be at. Like, Xhaka base, Sarr probably, like, if you think he's going to peak. Start Mateta or Esteve. It is a good fixture this week for Burnley, so maybe you want to take that into consideration. But off the back of that hat-trick, penalty appeal. I don't ever like benching penalty takers. I don't feel great about it. So I probably would maybe still start Mateta. Mbeumo or Gakpo in. I probably would prefer Mbeumo. Hi, what combo? Oh, Jesus. I slightly scroll on the chat and like there's just so much more chat. Hi, what combo do you prefer long-term? Rodon and Munoz or Burn and Gahey? We'll play Rodon or Burn this week depending on what moves I do. I think I would actually prefer Rodon and Munoz ahead of Burn and Gahey. Just for me anyway. That's just my one. If I don't get around to your question, guys, like I said, there is a lot going into the chat right now. And yeah, like if I can't keep up, I'll try my best. I'm gonna try and answer everybody's questions. Obviously, if I skip past your question, it's not a personal insult to you. The chat is just very, very busy, and I'm trying to keep up with as much as possible, and try and just yeah, give you guys as much as I can in the time that we are, of course, live. How's it going, bro? On a bench boost this week. Very nice, chewy FPL. I'm glad I got mine out of the way. And my bench boost advice probably stays the same. I think if you've got like a full 15, like just play them, man. Just like if you've got the full 15, you've still got the bench boost this week. Even if like it's not the best fixtures. Like I had 2 Everton players against City. I got a 4-pointer out of an Ndai and a 3-pointer out of Tarkowski. Like they just helped the bench boost along. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I would look at it. If you've got a full 15 that can play, just go for it. Easy as pie. Where are we at in terms of the likes then? Are we at 50 likes already on today's stream? Let's have a look. What are we at? 46. Okay, we only need 4 more people to hit that like button. So if you haven't already, hit the like button. Push this stream out to as many people as possible. Let's see how many people we can get in here today. We've had some pretty good numbers over the past few weeks. Would be amazing if we obviously can continue that trend for the next few. Obviously, like I said, I'll try and keep up with the chat as best as I can, but it is popping at the moment. João Pedro to Walter and Goodmanson to Cucurella. Good choices. It's a tough one on João Pedro because the next few fixtures are very good. They are really, really ridiculously good. So it's so difficult to sell a player ahead of like probably some of the best fixtures they're going to get this whole season. It is ridiculously tough to say. I would suggest like selling someone at that. So yeah. Abby's in the chat. She says, afternoon everyone, it's my bench boost time this week. Very nice indeed. Gokeres to Walter and Reinders to Saka. I like those moves. They're a little bit on the luxury side, but I like them. Yeah. Start Kudus, Goodmanson this game week. I probably would go with Kudus probably on that one. Captain Semenyo over Haaland. Nah, I think we'll do a poll in a little bit on captaincy. I still think Haaland is probably the easy shout this week. I just do. Should I play Goodmanson while owning Bowen? Yeah, I don't see a problem in that one. Hey Legend from Australia. Who should I start? Burn, Saliba, Gabriel and Akpom. Oops, let me go back to that one. Burn, Saliba, Gabriel and Akpom. I can't decide whether Newcastle defender or Saliba. I would go Saliba and Gabriel. I genuinely just think this Arsenal defence is ridiculous. So yeah, I probably would go for that one. Have I got a DAZN water bottle? Yes. Yes, I have. Start one of DCL, Munoz or Anderson. I mean, it could be a good game for Anderson if he can hit maybe DEFCON. Like, that might not be a bad one from Nottingham Forest. DCL, like, this is probably their big game. Like, it's a massive relegation 6-pointer, talking to Leeds fans at work. So, yeah, could be the week where maybe DCL actually decides to do something. Any news on the Evan Nilsson injury? He is out for game week 9. Will probably be back for game week 10, though. Pedro becomes a good pick when Salah is back. I mean, I don't know if Salah's ever going to be back this season. Why is Gakpo suddenly a big transfer today after not being rested midweek? Is he in the models? No, I think people are just like looking at the Liverpool fixtures because they are incredible over the next few weeks, and they're looking at the projected goal numbers. They're looking at the midweek performance. They're looking at the Premier League performance he put in last week. And I think people are just fed up of like your Reinders and stuff like that, and they've got money, and like we've all got money to play around with and build quite cool teams. So yeah, that's probably why he's there. Palmer, that makes more sense. That does make more sense. Would you bench Kudus or Caicedo? Difficult choice for me. Oh, I definitely think Caicedo's floor is so much higher with Defcon. Kudus, it is more you're chasing the upside on that pick. That's how you've probably got to look at it, right? What do I think about starting Ekitike? I mean, with Isak, you know, taking that knock in midweek, I definitely think Ekitike starts the game. That's what I would go for it. How many transfers did you make? I've made 2 already. We haven't obviously locked in the other moves. So I brought in Saka and Kuprig for Gokrez and Reinders. And the other moves that we're looking at is taking Caicedo out for Enzo and then downgrading Tarkowski to Keane. So yeah, they're the moves that we've got so far. Cunha or Mbeumo? I would probably go with Mbeumo ahead of Cunha. Yeah, I just don't think Cunha's pulled up any trees really for me. Doing a bench boost this week. Good replacement for Reinders up to 5.5. I mean, Keane's right there. Richards as well. Just good long-term replacements in terms of defense. Maybe there's a route for you to get in, like, I'm trying to think who else is there. Yeah, probably Keane or Thingy would be my top ones. Maybe Gahey if you fancy for it as well. Gui starts our bench. Yeah, I probably would go with that. Am I doing team reviews? Yeah, as always, we're doing live team reviews on the stream. If you head over to my X, there is a what's it called? A tweet that I put out that basically says this is where you should leave your team reviews, and as you can see in the pinned comment, that is the times where we'll be doing them. So there you go, stuff like that. How is Keane for Defcon? Not bad. I think it's like 9.5 Defcon per 90. Tarkowski, for example, who you're paying 1 million more for, is 11.5. So he's just below the threshold, and currently around like a 1 in 3 games he hits the Defcon. So that's where you're kind of looking at him. My playing 11 we'll see when I obviously decide if I'm going to bring in Enzo and Keane. Bench boost this week. Oh, we did that one already. Sell Anderson or keep him. Doesn't look like he's going to be a long-term injury, so I'm planning on keeping him. Yeah, I don't think it's worth wasting a transfer on yet. We could get positive news. Like, if we get bad news next week, then of course he's going to be a future transfer out. But he realistically could be back maybe next week or the week after, and I'll be like, fair enough. His Defcon numbers are good. I'll just keep him. Who to bench? Rodon and Dye, Gordon or Tossin? It probably would between Rodon and Tossin. If Tossin's not in predicted lineups, then play Rodon. I answered that question already, bro. I said if you want the floor, pick Caicedo. If you want the ceiling, go Kudus. Reinders to Enzo and Gokrez to Waltermada. Don't mind the moves. I think just selling Gokrez ahead of some good Arsenal fixtures and not buying another Arsenal attacker could be maybe risky. Like, the fixtures are unbelievable. Some of their projected goal numbers on the 11-5 models are just very good. Caicedo or Enzo, I think I've kind of made my choice. If I bring in Enzo this week, then yeah, I've made my move, haven't I? Which cheap defender? I probably would go Mukalele. His Defcon numbers are just through the roof. Defender replacement for 5.5. Yeah, like I said, for me it would be like a Keane, or it would be a Richards at the 4.5 million bracket if you don't want to obviously spend extra money on defence. Start Munoz or Rutter this week. I would probably give Rutter the nod. United's expected goals conceded doing pretty poor this season. Is Minter and Anthony to Enzo and Xhaka worth it? I would still keep hold of Minter. I think he's been Brighton's best player. His underlying numbers look very, very good, so I don't think he would be a player I would want to take out. And taking Anthony out of ahead of a big game against a fellow relegation rival, again, doesn't really seem like the right move. Like, maybe next week when they've got the good fixture out of the way, seems more like the appropriate time to do it. I am just going to have a drink of water. There we go. But yeah, do keep the questions coming in. We will try and keep answering as many questions as we can. Like we said, we're going to be doing team reviews as well throughout today's deadline stream. We've absolutely smash the 50 likes, by the way. We're up to 78 already. I think this could be like record pace for likes in the chat. So yeah, just keep them in. Let's see if we can get to 100. 100 before 30 minutes would probably be like a new record on some of these streams. So yeah, that would be a definite new one. Thoughts on Paqueta? I have him. I mean, they've got Leeds this week. Like, you've got to give him the Leeds fixture, I think. You have to give him the Leeds fixture. Chances of Gui starting, I would probably say about 75-ish. Yeah, I think he could start. Porro down to 3.9 to Reinders to Gakpo. For a hit next week, have the exact money and we're priced out of the move. I don't think I would do that. No, I don't think I would do that. And Die or Caicedo or Wildcard on a wildcard. I would probably go and Die. Cheers, Josh. Cheers, pal. Appreciate that, mate. Which two would you start out of Sar, Anthony, and Minter? I would probably go Anthony and Minter this week. Yeah, those are the ones I would go for. Best 6 million mid. I don't think Caicedo is probably worth it now at 5.9. So I think if you go all the way down to Xhaka, he is incredible value. Longstaff is pretty good value for 4.9 as well. Minter, I've said that I like. I think Anderson could be a decent shout at 5.3 as well with a new manager. So yeah. When am I going to do team reviews? It is the pinned comment. Like I said, check out the pinned comment. We'll be doing them at 2:30, 3, 3:30, and 4. Those are going to be your times for yeah, the team reviews. Like I said, do keep the questions coming in, keep the likes coming in. Where are we at now? Are we at 100? If we're at 100, we're vibing. 87, you guys are killing it, man. 190 of you in here already as well. So big shout out to you guys for being nice and early on today's stream. I imagine it's only going to get busier. So make sure you're getting those questions in as well. Tom, what's throwing you off Enzo? If you're looking at Fran's tweet and Jamie's verdict, Enzo is almost the same as an 8. Yeah, I think it was just more like I was just asking the question, seeing what would happen. And I still think with the penalty, with the corners, with Chelsea being so good at XG from corners, then I still do think the move is probably going to be worth it. Like the move I've lined up here, I back it. I think it's going to be a good move. I think it's going to be the correct move. Next week we can see what happens with João Pedro and Mateta, make a decision there, and then probably again start to put some obviously moves together. Is Gabriel actually a doubt? Holy what? No way, no. Gabriel is a doubt. Hold up. Hold the phone, ladies and gentlemen. Is that actually true? Let's have a look. Arteta says Gabriel is a doubt. Wow. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Gabriel, a doubt. Woo. Okay, we might need to upgrade the what's it called? Let me get some Photoshop going, I guess. Let me get some Photoshop going. I hope you guys can't see when I'm on Photoshop. I don't think it should. But let me just put together a thumbnail real quick. I think I might have one actually. Let me have a look. Yeah, I did one. I did a Gabriel one. So let me quickly just change this around a little bit. Let me where's the camera? I need to put the right camera on. Hang on. Do we trust Arteta though is the big one. Arteta may be spouting some lies. So yeah. We'll update the ticker as well in a second. Let me quickly, where's the solo cam? Let me just hop onto the solo cam. Is this the right one? Yeah, this is the right one. Let me quickly just update the thumbnail. Because that is big. That is very, very big. Gabriel, a doubt. Oof. Let me get this up quickly for a second and then I'll be back with you guys and answering your guys' questions as always. There we go. Change. Boom. Always be prepared, guys. Always have backup thumbnails ready. That's all you got to do. Just have the backup thumbnails ready. You never know with this game. Honestly, you never ever know with this game. At least we've got some cover. At least we've got a bit of bench cover, I guess. Yeah. There we go. And save. Oh no, and not save. There needs to be a gap in there. These are all the behind the scenes stuff you shouldn't really see, but you are seeing them now. Gabriel out. There we go. Question mark. Cool. Let's get back on track. Let's get back on track. So yeah, Gabriel now a doubt for the game. Absolutely massive news. Absolutely massive news as well. Yeah. Give it a second. It should all the stuff in the back is updated now. All the stuff in the back is updated. Rip the bench boost. Yeah, people that had the bench boost may be active. Might want to deactivate that bench boost. This is why I got it out of the way last week. Like, I was just like... Yeah, I was honestly just like... Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Start Raya or Dubravka. I would still probably go Raya this week. But yeah, big news obviously breaking today. Gabriel, a doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, a doubt for the fixture. I don't know why the title's not updated of this video. Why is that doing that? Come on, work with me here. But yeah, Gabriel, a doubt for game week 9. So change your plans accordingly, I guess. Is it good to sell VVD and Gvardiol? I have 2 free transfers. I would say maybe hold on to Virgil van Dijk. Gvardiol, I definitely think after last week's benching, probably for me doesn't justify himself as like an option to go for. I've just noticed we've hit over 100 likes on today's stream already, by the way, guys. So thank you very, very much. Let's see when... Let's just put my team back in order. Let's put everybody back in for a bit. Because maybe if this if Gabriel's out, maybe, you know, we might need to potentially look at conserving our transfers a little bit. I mean, if not, like, we will still have that defender come in. Like, we'll have either Tarkowski comes in for him, or we get Keane that comes in for him. So they've got an okay fixture. So I'm not too bothered about it. Oh, apologies, bro. Apologies. Yeah, I probably... again, with that Spurs one, haven't kept a clean sheet since 4. I probably would maybe consider it. Yeah, I probably would maybe consider it. On Neto and Ekatike, good picks. I would both... I just think there's probably better players to go and pick, like, outside of that. So, yeah. For me, anyway. I just think there are better players to go and pick outside of that. I think Everton could keep a clean sheet against Spurs. I really, really do. I'm still on a bench boost because I don't trust Arteta. Yes, that is also something key to note. Is Arteta is a notorious, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, a notorious liar. He really is. He's a notorious liar. Let me have a look at start and dial Porro. I would go and die. Yeah, I'd go and die. Let's quickly get the ticket updated. Let's get rid of the Delap one. Let me just quickly get rid of the Delap one and put Gab Real a doubt for 9. Cool. I think that's all updated now. And there we go. What happened to Gabriel? Arteta just came out and said that he is a doubt. He felt something in the Champions League game. And yeah, is now a doubt for game week 9. So yeah. But remember, it is Arteta. The guy is a notorious liar. Like, genuinely, he's got history in this. He has history in this of lying to people, of deception. And Gabriel might all of a sudden just start playing. So yeah, that is probably something you do need to be wary of. Priority transfers: first to leave Walter, Calafiori, Mateta, Sarr. Only one free transfer. I would probably put Mateta and Sarr are probably more for next week, right? So probably Walter, Mateta, Sarr, Calafiori. That would be my list. Bowen plus Konate, good differential, or Walter plus VVD. I don't really like VVD. I think there's plenty of better picks to go for anyway. And Bowen and Konate are alright, but again, I think there's just better options at those price points. I think I'm captaining Semenyo. I think guaranteed goals for him over Haaland. Fair enough. That's what you think. I just think Haaland's probably looking at that Jamie Vardy record and licking his lips now. Only 3 games. He's got to do it to match the 11. 4 games to beat it. I think he's going to be licking his lips. And everything at the moment that City do just goes through him. Sell Foden and replace with Enzo, good or not? Yes. Keep Bowen or just move to Mateta next week instead of this. Move next week. Bowen has a good fixture this week. There's no point. Just wait till next week. Start VDV or Rodon. I probably go Rodon. Best 7.1 under mids. Enzo and Dyer are probably my 2 favourites. Yeah, they're probably my 2 favourites. Is Saka essential on a wild card? I wouldn't say he's essential, but he's definitely a player that you need to be considering for a wild card. Captain Enzo, I would probably... I probably wouldn't go for it. João Pedro or Walter I think Walter is in a really good, rich vein of form at the moment, and João Pedro clearly isn't. But you look at the fixtures and you do just think, Walter next 3 are great, but Chelsea's are just unbelievable. Like, they are unbelievable. So I'm going to give João Pedro 1 more week in the benefit of the doubt. And then I'm probably going to move to Mateta with some good fixtures coming up for Palace. So I think if you've got João Pedro, you give him this week. That is honestly my recommendation for people this week. Give João Pedro 1 more bite of the cherry. If he's rubbish again and creates absolutely nothing, then for me, that's probably then where I would then go, let's move to Mateta. The good fixtures open up for Palace. This week, because what am I trying to say here? Because Mateta's got the bad fixture, I don't think he's an essential player to bring in. You know what I mean? More quads on Gabriel. Hasn't been able to train yet. Jesus. Hasn't been able to train yet. Okay. That's not good. That is definitely not good. And that probably does make him very much a big doubt for this game. Yeah. Is Gyökeres a must go? I think the fixtures are still there. Like, you give him probably this week. If Saka looks really good this week and Gyökeres doesn't, then yeah, you're probably going to have to make that luxury move over. But yeah, it's a toughie, isn't it? It is a toughie. Do keep the questions coming in the chat, guys. We will be doing team ratings at 2:30. They will be over on my X if you want to go and follow me on there. We've had, honestly, loads sent in. Absolutely loads sent in already. So thank you very much for everybody. If you are new to the channel as well, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 25k by the end of the season now. We absolutely smashed through 20k the other day. So yeah, keep the likes, keep the support coming in, guys. And let's see where we get. Any news on the Evan Nielsen injury? He is out for game week 9. Buy Enzo this week or Sarr next week. If you're going to buy Enzo, this is one of the ideal weeks to hop on it. Sarr's isn't till next week. And I do think Enzo probably has more going for him than Sarr. Just, again, I'm looking for players that have those avenues to points. And I really do see that with Enzo. I don't necessarily see... I think Sarr's got the open play threat, 100%. but he doesn't, you know, have corners, doesn't have penalties, so there's a lot, yeah, that's going for it. Hasn't been able to train yet, definitely starting, yeah. This is the thing, remember, it is Arteta. It is Arteta. And if you're worried about, obviously, when Gabriel gets flagged in the game, should I bench him? Just play him. Genuinely, just still play him. Just have that spot ready on your bench for the first sub. That's all my advice is there, guys. Saw and Mateta next week. Yeah, Palace's fixtures turn next week. That will be the period where a lot of us will look to hop on them. If João Pedro actually scores, I might quit FPL. He definitely is, isn't he? He's definitely going to go and do it now. 100%. The best João Pedro replacement is either Mateta or Waltemada, right? And Mateta, for me, edges it ahead of Waltemada. So, who are Palace playing this week? Well, they've got Arsenal, so just wait. Just wait. I have Welbeck in my team. Is that good? I mean, when the guy plays, he does just score. It is just Brighton and their constant wheel of rotation. Like, they're even worse than Pep. You know, somebody looks nailed for a bit and then they just, yeah. Keep Senesi, 100%. His DEFCON numbers are incredible. They're just insane. Kudus versus Ndiaye this week. Who would you play? Ndiaye, penalties, done. Any news on Evan Nilsson being out? He is out for game week 9. It's on the ticker below. By the way, we've got a list of all the kind of, you know, big talking points from this week. So Alderente, Gabriel out, Evan Nilsson out, and Anderson are out as well. What is my prediction for the Arsenal game? I'm going to go 2-1 Arsenal. I think they actually concede a goal to this Palace side that do create a lot of opportunities. Enzo or Caicedo in for Reinders. I think now Caicedo is nearly at 6. I would try and find that extra 0.8 million to go and get Enzo. I think the penalties just are just incredible. Guys, if Gabriel is out, who should I have as my first on my bench? Reinders or Stack? I probably would have Reinders, right? Reminder though, you have to have like 3 defenders play. So in my case, it wouldn't be Krupig that would come on. It would actually be Tarkowski that comes on. Does that make sense to you guys? So if I were to, you know, Gabriel for whatever reason didn't play, it wouldn't be Krupig. You still need the 3 defenders to come in. So Tarkowski would be the one that, of course, comes in for my team this week. Gyökeres to Krupig Jr. If it allows you to maybe go and get Saka, that is the move that I have done. But of course, it is maybe something that could be an issue. Choose one, Krupig or Gui. I think Krupig longer term will probably get better minutes than Gui over the season. No European footballers. I do just think for me, Krupig is probably the better pick than Mark Gui long term. Josh King to Longstaff for a -4 and play the bench boost. Why do you need to make that -4 move for Longstaff? I would just play it with Josh King. He plays, you're fine. I think someone makes a good point there. Caicedo, Defcon, or Enzo attacking returns. I get what you're trying to say there, but for me, I'm looking for avenues, right? Caicedo's main avenues of points are Defcon, right? And probably, I would say, maybe has a better floor than Enzo. But Enzo's got the corners. For a side that are looking to exploit corners this year and have hired a Brentford set-piece coach, okay? Then you look at it and you also think as well, Enzo's got those penalties now that Palmer's out. He's got good open play threat as well. I think there is just more upside in the Enzo move ahead of the Caicedo one. That's where I would be in terms of my predictions for this week. Dorgu, to James or Munoz. Probably James with the fixtures coming up. Is Enzo a must-have now, or can I roll free transfers and bring him in game week 10? I have Semenyo, Saka, Minter, Sar, Reinders. I would probably get rid of Reinders for Enzo. Yeah, I probably would. He is turning into a long shot demon, but realistically, how long can that continue? Like, there will be a regression to the mean at some point. I think a lot of the like projections around Semenyo's goal numbers from like SpreadX was maybe like 5, which is roughly what he hit last year. You got to think he's already on 3. So if he's going to hit those projections, he's only going to got like 2 more goals if you're going off the projections for the season. So yeah. Would you scrap a bench boost without Gabriel? Yeah, I think you want the full 15 available, right? You want the full 15 available. I am honestly sat here so thankful right now that I got that bench boost out of the way last week. I am genuinely so grateful I got the bench boost out of the way. Whew. That's one less to worry about. That is one less to worry about. Even if it's the best week for it. This is the thing. I managed to score 17 and had Dubravka as like the only good player I had. You could go for it. You could go for it. You could still go for it if you want to get it out the way. Honestly, there is no ideal week to play a bench boost. The bench boost for me is just whenever you've got 15 available, whack it on, right? I scored 7 points from Tarkowski and Ndai against Manchester City, and probably Ndai should have got an assist if Beto knew how to finish his dinner, so could have been looking at a mega haul. The week before I scored 16 with a very iffy bench, and that was because Caicedo just scored a random goal and got a 10-pointer against Liverpool. So for me, a bench boost should just be a week where you've got 15 available, you know they're going to play, whack it on, don't care yourself with the futures, especially if you've got DEFCON guys as well. They will just click. They will just continue just to pick up the points. And Ndai and Tarkowski were prime examples of that for me last week. If Anderson had probably played that full 90, probably would have got a bench, some more points on the bench boost as well. And I think you're probably looking for 10 or plus. If you think that bench could hit 10 or plus, especially with DEFCON guys, you're laughing. What did you get from both keepers? So Raya got a 6 and Dubravka got a 9. So yeah, there we go. My bench boosting got me 27 from Foster missing out too. So maybe look, it still might be the play if you've got some goodish fixtures this week. But I think I would be interested to see what review or Solio says if you put it in and it goes, you've only got 10. You know what I mean? Would you start Rodon ahead of Kudus? No, I probably would still go with Kudus. What is my current rank? We are currently sat at 1.6 million. Slowly pulling ourselves back. If we could get to game week 10 ahead into the top 1 million, I think that's a pretty good start to the season. And for context, last year I finished 8k, and at this point I was still 4 million. Yeah, it's still really early days. A lot can change, a lot can flip. So yeah, don't deep it too much if you're sat in a bad rank position. Just make sure you got the basic principles in, and stuff will start to work itself out. Fofana, I wouldn't want to say he's 100% definitely going to start. You know what I mean? Yeah, I wouldn't want to put myself on that one as well. No team reviews have been done yet, Cortex. We have got 2:30 as our first one will be when we start doing team reviews. Then it'll be every half an hour after that as well. So yeah, get them sent in to me over on X, and we'll get as many done as we possibly can. But yeah, keep liking the stream, guys. Keep pushing it out to more people. That's exactly what we want to do. If you're new around here as well, make sure you are you're hitting that like button. 100%. One huge week could change everything. And I definitely think with the game being a little bit stable, in terms of captaincy, where Haaland's the lock, right? So it's those other players. If those other players really pick up, and it's a big thing that I learned last year, was differentials don't have just to be some super low-owned player. It's differentials in combination, right? So for me, my differentials in combination are going to be Bruno Fernandes and Saka. I very much doubt a lot of people will have Bruno and Saka. One of them will probably not be there, and most people will have that third striker spot. So for me, that is where I'm then looking at my differentials in combination, right? And I think this is a good thing to do with a lot of people's teams, right? Start putting together players that, like I said, are just different. Not different, but like when together, they are different. That is where you actually get proper gains from. I think so many times we get confused with obviously just trying to be a bit different or trying to do this or trying to do that. But it's those, like I said, those difference in combinations that can, really shake things up. That Rashford captaincy in Champions League Fantasy worked out nicely. Currently sit 9k in the world. Love to see it, bro. I'm glad you went for it. I didn't go for it and was left obviously disappointed, but we had a really good week. Got to 9k as well. So maybe we're buddies at the 9k rank. Gabriel hasn't even trained yet. Not even trained, which is just a bad one. Caicedo or Enzo long term? I really, really like Enzo. I do think he's the real deal. Oh, I've just seen he was the second highest transferred in player as well. Second highest. I think we've had 33 team reviews sent in as well. But yeah. Update on Havertz as well for people that do have Gokres. Havertz, Jesus, Madueke and Odegaard, they're all progressing really well. They've all started to do certain activities. They're all super willing to be available as quick as possible. But at the moment, none of them are in contention in the next week or so. So that still probably bodes well for that. Lyle Foster, I think somebody asked me a question about Lyle Foster. We've just had an update from Burnley. Lyle Foster is back in contention after returning to training this week. So there you go. Someone was asking me for a Lyle Foster update. There it is. So maybe if that means your bench boost is back on. Yeah. Yep. How do I send my team reviews? If you head over to my Twitter, there is a post that literally says, leave your team reviews right there. Make sure you are following me on X, as sometimes they don't pull through correctly and they're a little bit floppy. But yeah, that is what you need to do. If Gabriel is out, which Arsenal defender do you bring in? Probably then you either move to Saliba or Timber, right? Should I steal bench boost with Gabriel? I'd be tempted not to. Yeah. What's your current rank? Like I said, 1.6. You're above me. So, yeah, very jealous, man. Very jealous. Rodon or Garner to start, please. I would probably go Rodon on that one. Yeah, I'd probably go Rodon on that one. Although Garner is top of baseline PPS amongst all players within the game right now. So if he gets an attacking return, don't be surprised if he comes away with all 3 bonus points. The chat is moving fast today. Hella fast. So if I, of course, do miss anybody's comments or anything like that, just put them in again. I'll try and get round to them as quick as I can. FPL Bulldog in the chat as well. If you're looking for some good differential content, make sure you're going and checking out his channel as well. Some cracking videos over on there. Drop him a subscribe and all that good stuff. You know the drill by now. Would you captain Semenyo, Enzo, JP or Haaland? I've said it this week for me. Haaland, just easy captaincy. I really don't think there's any reason to go outside of that wheelhouse for me, really. Hi Tom, would you start Kudus over Saar? I probably would this week, yeah. Bench and Die or Gokres? Jesus, how strong is your team if you've got to bench one of those two? Yeah, I'd need to see that team to see who you're playing ahead of Ndai and Gokres, because both of those realistically should be kind of looking to get within the side. Can you give your rank targets? It's hard to say. Like, this year is so difficult to say because a lot could change. Like, I could be like going, yeah, game week 10, I want to be in the top 1 million. And then if certain people play their chips and maybe have like some mega hauls, or there's a big shift in like kind of chip strategy over that time period, then we could just be like thinking, actually by game week 19 is probably a better point to judge. So I would say as long as we're maybe like top 500k by game week 19, I think that puts us in a very good position. At worst case, top 1 mil by game week 19. I still think we could very much salvage a very good rank out of that. Probably not a top 10k, but very easily a top 100k finished. So yeah, let's just, again, I wouldn't deep rank too much. Like I said, the position I was in last year, I was terrible. Like my rank was rubbish. So yeah, I wouldn't do it. Which chips do you have left? I have the free hit and I have the triple captaincy. Some Bulldogs asked me, when am I thinking about looking at a free hit? There are a few weeks I've identified free hit weeks. I think game week 12, City play Liverpool, and there's some goodish fixtures in there. I am pretty much going to be waiting until pre-game week 10, we find out what happens with Palace, Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. Because the more and more Palace keep progressing in the Carabao Cup, there could be a potential blank for Palace and maybe some double game weeks that do emerge themselves at the back end of that kind of, game week 19 period. So we do need to keep those options open. So that is kind of where I'm at. If Palace go out in the next round, then I'll probably hone in a little bit more on certain weeks where I feel my team looks a little bit weak. Or maybe I bank some transfers to 12, make some moves, kind of dead end the team into 15. So use all my transfers over that period to get a really good team for game week 15. Then we get get our AFCON transfers back, but free hit in 17. So like the team's sort of set up that way round, if that makes sense. So the team's good for 15, 16, or we kind of free hit in 15, pretty much use all our transfers up until that point. Free hit in 15, get our 5 refresh in 16, and then go again from there. So there is ideas kind of circulating in my mind, but right now I am more of the mind of just let's wait and see. That's where I'm at. So yeah. Team reviews will be in 4 minutes. This is your 4-minute warning. Get the team sent to me over on Twitter. We're absolutely smashing it in terms of likes and views today. What are we at already? We're killing it. 138 likes, 386 people watching today's stream. So thank you very much, guys. Make sure you are hitting that like button. Let's see if we can get this bad boy up to 150. Keep the likes coming in. Like I said, keep the questions coming in. Keep the subscriptions coming in as well. Where are we at in terms of subs? Yeah, pretty good on those as well. Let's see if we can try and get maybe like 20.5 by the end of today would be sick. So, yeah. We don't have anything kind of further on Gabriel. We just know that he's not trained and he's a doubt for game week 9. That is all we've got. 100% agree. There's not an optimal week. With it being just a 1 game week, there are so many swings and stuff like that. Yeah. So, yeah, there are so many. Game week 12 with Salah as well could be a decent week maybe to look at if Salah's maybe back. Yeah, these are the kind of things I think we're probably going to have a look at over the next few weeks. I would say let's just get to these Carabao Cup games. It's this week, right? It's this week. Let me have a look. Is this midweek, right? Yeah, EFL Cup is this midweek. So Palace play Liverpool. If Palace progress, then I think we start having some other chats about potential blanks and doubles. But up until that point, I think we don't. And we kind of maybe just look at single game weeks to follow. Thoughts on starting Dubravka, considering he has Wolves and Arsenal have a bit of a tougher fixture. Arsenal's like defensive numbers though are ridiculous. And I still probably would back them. Burnley were very fortunate to keep a clean sheet against Leeds. Leeds put up like over 2 XG. So maybe again, like Wolves at home, they know this is a massive game for them. Burnley could be under the firing line a little bit here. So yeah. Bench and Die, Gokres, Anthony, Caicedo. I think Caicedo or Anthony are on the chopping block there. Those would probably be the 2 that would go. I think everybody else starts. For me personally. On a wild card, pick Timber instead of Gabriel. I guess you kind of have to, don't you? If you think he's going to be a doubt. That's probably the big question as well. Did I hear anything about Gabriel being out this game week? I know he went off early in the Champions League game, but apparently it was just like precautionary. Like nothing else was really said on it. That's all I heard. Nothing else on that one. Yeah, exactly, Lee. That's going to be the problem. So, yeah, that's where we'll be at. Thank you very much, Bulldog. Appreciate that, bro. Like I said, really grateful for you guys for helping the channel get to over 20,000 subscribers. Yeah, man, oh man. Yeah, we're flying, we're cooking, and let's just see where we can end up, eh? Let's just see where we end up. Who knows? Let's just see where we go for. Is Caicedo a doubt? I haven't heard anything on that one. Arteta says Gabriel is not playing. He hasn't said that. He's just said he's a doubt. So, yeah, and he's not trained yet. So, yeah. Like Andy said, it is completely free to, of course, subscribe to the channel. And it is appreciated. It has just gone half past as well. So, we are going to start looking at some team reviews, guys. So, should we start doing some of those? I think we should start doing some of those. Let's get some of those done. We've been live for about an hour already today. The views have been good. The likes have been good. Keep them coming in. And yeah, let's start moving over to some team reviews. Let's get it done. I don't know how many we've got, but my notifications when I went on Twitter earlier were ridiculously broken, by the way. So yeah. I'm going to go to the bottom of this, and we're going to get through as many as we possibly can, okay? Like I said, if we don't get round to yours this round, we will have some other ones coming up. And if you don't see your team here and you have sent it me, make sure you are following me, because sometimes it's a little bit dodgy on X. And sometimes people that have been following me for a long time, even theirs don't pull through. Oh my god, we've got even more. Okay, right, cool. These are going to... Oh my god, we've got even more. Right, this I think is the first one here. So let's go for that one. Thoughts. Obviously, Gabriel, we've obviously spoken about now. You've got Van de Ven, so like I wouldn't deep it too much. I would actually probably start Van de Ven ahead of Gahey this week. Yeah, I would start Van de Ven ahead of Gahey, then probably maybe put Gahey ahead of Mukiele, but Defcon could be the deciding factor there. But other than that, team's looking good. I like the Ekatike differential shout. Jack says, who's a bench? Oh, that's a I would play Mateta ahead of Reinders. I never like benching penalty takers. So, yeah, I would play Mateta ahead of Reinders. You've got Road on there if Gabriel, of course, doesn't play. This is my team, man. Already made the Tarkowski to James move before yesterday. James went up in price. 2 more free transfers left. Plan is Xavi to Enzo and Foden to Mbeumo. I like both of those moves. I would probably go for both of those moves, mate. I think that's probably where I would be at with those moves. I feel like something is missing. I don't know what. Soberslai is an interesting one. He was another one that was very high up on the baseline BPS when I had a look at that. I think this team is fine, though. You've not got to worry about Gabriel. So, yeah, I think this team is good. I wouldn't deep it. I think you're good. Great stream. Kudos to Enzo and sort out a better keeper. Vic to Pope / Raya. Tempted to get Enzo this week and Raya next week. I personally don't like wasting my transfers on goalkeepers. And I think Vicario is fine enough. He'll do a good enough job for you. I don't see Raya massively outscoring him. I think your free transfers would be better used on picking up people like Enzo, in my opinion. So, yeah. Thinking about using the triple captain on Semenyo. Okay. I think if maybe Dyche wasn't there, I 100% would have, you know, gone for it. But I think now that he is there, maybe not. But hey-ho, if we're not going to get double game weeks, then of course, just go for it. And you never know what could happen. You could absolutely fly through the ranks. Hey, Tom, got 2 free transfers and 0.4 million in the bank. I don't know if I'd do anything. I think your team's pretty strong, pretty good. Yeah, I probably would just roll, take another 2 into take another 1 into next week. Josh has sent his team over. Juve's an interesting one after his benching, so that would be my only concern around his benching and coming off at half time. But I expect him to maybe play, but it's a toughie. It is a toughie there. Bench boost time. I mean, we spoke about Gabriel, obviously. Yeah, and Richards being away, like, he might hit Defcon, so maybe like a 3-pointer from him. Gardner, maybe looking at a 2, potentially 4 if he hits Defcon. Rodon doesn't, or his Defcon numbers haven't been amazing. But all it takes is maybe like a Dubravka clean, and this bench boost could be successful. I just think now with that Gabriel, I maybe would be tempted to wait a little bit on it. Jaden sent in their team. Raul Jimenez is not a player I would be looking to pick up. They've got Muniz. You never know what they're going to do with that front line. For the same price, you can go and get Thiago, whose minutes are very secured on penalties as well for Brentford. He would be the pickup I would go for in that position. Bench boost 9, then Gordon to Saw or Pedro to Mateta. Nice. Good. Like it. No Gabriel to worry about, so you can probably get that bench boost off. Doing the bench boost this week, please suggest me a good defender to replace. Now, this is one where I now think maybe that bench boost might be a little bit muddied because of the Gabriel situation. I think I would maybe just wait. You've got 2 potentially injured players there. I've said I don't really like making transfers just to get a bench boost out of the way or get a bench boost off. I think that is a waste of free transfers. So for me, I would probably not do it. I probably would not do it. 1 transfer, 3.6 million in the bank, considering a bench boost. Again, now that Gabriel thing has probably mudded that a little bit. I would maybe just hold the transfers. You've got Ped Porro if Gabriel doesn't play and move past it. I think you've got bigger issues to worry about as well with Xavi and Reinders. So, yeah, that's kind of where my head would be at. Any changes? I plan to roll. Nope. I think you can roll through that very easily. Running the bench boost this week. Gabriel might cause an issue for that one. Again, like that's probably where your issues are going to lie around Gabriel, and maybe I would consider deactivating it if I was on a bench boost this week. Wildcarded last week, therefore rolling. Yep, very nice, good looking team. You've got cover if Gabriel, of course, doesn't play. Currently 48k, had 2 free transfers, did Virgil and Reinders to Enzo and Four. Got a benching headache, Dubravka and Mateta, Reinders or Rice. I think you probably got the bench in the right order. That's probably what I would go with. Danny Boy has sent through his team. Ooh, okay. Oh dear. What's happening here with these two? Visser and Frimpong. Yeah, they're probably your priority moves out of this club, aren't they, right? Some very rogue shouts in this team. So my bench boost is active. Plan was Anderson to Gabriel. Really not sure what to do. Oh, Abby. Maybe it could be Timber. Or maybe you could just deactivate the bench boost and play Kuprig. Like, that might be the way you have to look at it now. Deactivate the bench boost and just get Kuprig in there. And just play it another week, potentially. Like I said, I don't like using transfers. But Timber could still be a very good long-term move anyway. So, I get it. Review my team. 2 free transfers. JP, Walter Modder, Xavi, Gakpo. No Enzo, which is the most transferred in. Yeah, that one could be a sus moment. But maybe Gakpo and Saad, that could be your differential combination that could work. So, yeah, best of luck to you. I like the moves, though. Did these 3 moves. Oh, bringing in Gabriel and he's... Oh, this is why you don't make early moves, by the way, guys. Wait for all the team news to come out before you make your moves. Unless, like you were with me with this week where I had the position to make them. So, yeah. Oh, man. Hopefully he plays. Got 2.7 in the bank. Would Gabriel be a good buy? I would not probably buy him this week now with the doubts around him. Yeah. Team for this game week, deciding between future transfers next to picked. Oh my days. Like, I'm going to say this now. Just give me simple information so I can, like, roll through these. Like, I haven't got all day to, like, detailed go through everybody's. So, if you can just send them me with, like, simple instructions, like that, 4 mil in the bank, how many transfers you've got left, and give me, like, a picture of what chips you played. That is easier for me to, like, digest and give you, like, quick feedback. So I'm not going to do this one. If you want to send it me again like this, then I can help you out a little bit more. Asking those other ones is going to be a lot harder to, like, it's a lot harder to do. And I've got a lot to get round to here. So, yeah. 4 mil in the bank, what to do? I think you could roll. I really think you could just roll through that. Yeah, I probably would roll through that. You've got Van der Ven if Gabriel doesn't play, so I would roll through that. 0 in the bank. Bench boost looking a little bit mudded. I guess Chewy this week, right? I guess the move would maybe be like Foden to Enzo. That would probably be the move that I reckon you might probably want to go for, right? And then Richarlison to maybe somebody different, maybe like a Mateta next week, I guess. With that freed up money, would probably be the week you'd go for it. No clue who to bench and who to play. Any help? Roll into free transfers for the next 10 game week. For the next game week 10. I would play Senesi ahead of Rodgers first off the bat, and then I probably, like you said, could roll that. We've got so many to keep doing, by the way. Maybe I've overestimated how many people would actually send me their team today. Maybe we might have to look at alternative ways of doing this, because we've had a lot today, like a hell of a lot of teams sent in for reviews. So yeah, maybe. And my voice is getting a bit croaky, but we'll keep plowing on. Keep the likes coming in. Keep the subscriptions coming in. Andy, just benching headache. I have, mate. How would you line up? I have 6.3 million in the bank. Next week, 170k. I would probably roll through this week, and then next week you can just chuck your Palace boys in with this great fixture run coming up. Bench Cooperig. Yeah, I think you'll be good. Right, I'm going to stop reviewing teams here, because I reckon we've had that many sent in that will probably hit the next review time. So Andy, I know, is going to be the last person we're going to do here. Then we'll come back to them at 3 o'clock, all right? We've got plenty of other times to review teams, so we'll do some more at 3 o'clock. Yeah, Andy, I know you. You're a legend, so I'll come back anyway. Gabriel is a doubt for Game Week 9. Hasn't trained so far, is the latest update on that one for anybody, of course. Wondering, over 430 people sat in the chat today. Could today be the most viewed, like, concurrent viewed stream I've ever had? I don't think we've ever hit 500, so maybe today could be the day where we get over 500 views. I think I might have to go and check those numbers. Yeah, I might have to go and check those numbers. Ooh, I like those moves, man. I like those moves, Chewy, you've suggested there. I do like them. I mean, Goodmanson, it's not like, I think if you were happy to, like, any week where I would be like, maybe I've got to play a Leeds player, I don't think this week would be like the one where I'd be going, oh, I really wouldn't want to play them. They could get something out of it. Their XG conceded hasn't been terrible. So I definitely think you could get something out of it. I am just going to have a look at what is my, like, peak concurrent live. Evan Nilsson should be back maybe next week, apparently. 467, I think, is the most viewed, like, concurrent live viewers we've ever had, right? Let's have a look. No, we have hit we've hit 571 before. Okay. So 571 is the number we need to beat. That's the most concurrent viewers we've ever had. Leeds got a 36% chance of a clean sheet. Exactly. So I don't think it's the worst week to potentially play some Leeds players. So yeah, there we go. Yeah, if you've got a new plan, do send it over. Like I said, we're going to do another batch at 3 o'clock. Let's see if we can get today's stream up to 200 likes. There's 450 of you in the chat. Like I said, 567 is the most we've ever had on a live. So maybe today could be the day where we do break that goal, and my head will explode. Start Saw or Xhaka? I think Xhaka's got the better baseline. Saw has the bigger upside. So if you want to probably chase base, go for Xhaka. If you want to chase upside, go for Saw. What was that for a Game Week 1 stream? No, that was for like the Game Week 1 stream's current peak concurrent was 450. This one was Game Week 30 of last season. We had 571 people in here. Let's keep going, boys and girls. Let's keep going. Where am I from? I'm from the UK. I'm from a I'm from the East Midlands. Apologies if you can hear like building work, by the way. I did explain this at the start of the stream. Where my flat is, there's like a car park with an adjacent joining flat, and they're currently having like some work done. So if you hear some like drilling or banging, it is from there. I have no control over it, so I apologize. I'm not going to be removing Gabriel. He is very much a keep within my side and shouldn't be a player you should be looking to remove either from your sides. He is very much an easy keep for this game week. Start LaCroix or Esteve? I would probably play Esteve this week. It's not a bad one. James or Timber to replace Gabriel. I would not be looking to replace Gabriel. Don't be using transfers to get rid of Gabriel. He could very much be back next week, and he is just a very good long-term asset as well. Predictions for the El Clasico. Yeah, I've been planning this in this week at work. I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go 2-2. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-2. Does Gabriel doubts mean potentially delaying the bench boost? I think it would if it was for my team. I would definitely be looking at delaying it. And I probably, again, wouldn't really want to be looking to use up my free transfers just to get a bench boost off. So yeah, that is where we're at. It sounds like they've decided to get the drill out outside. So cheers, lads. Appreciate that one. If Gabriel is injured, do you go Ruben Diaz? You don't move Gabriel on. Like, if it's a long-term injury, then of course, let's move him on. But he's just a doubt. The fact that he's only a doubt probably suggests that he's going to be back for game week 10. And, yeah. You don't bench him either because it's Arteta, and Arteta is notorious for lying in press conferences. He just is a man who lies in the press conferences through his teeth. So, yeah. Just play him. Just make sure you've got that first sub ready to go, all right? Do I start Anthony from Burnley or Grealish? I'd probably go more Grealish. Who would you start between Dubravka versus Wolves, Darlow versus West Ham? I would probably base it off who's got the better clean sheet odds from Rob's betting markets. I imagine it would probably be Darlow at home than Dubravka away at Wolves. Reinders to die, but I take a hit. No, probably not worth the hit. With Gabriel, a doubt. I think I might make a transfer to replace Anderson or Alderente. Who do you think? Good shout. I would probably maybe look at Anderson. I think maybe there might be more value in that. I think you've got Keane and Richards there with, you know, decent DEFCON numbers that could probably be the ones as well. What did I have for lunch? I had a bagel and I had a protein shake. So yeah, there you go. Start Henderson or Dubravka. I think this is probably, if you've got like rotating goalkeepers, is a week where you maybe play Dubravka with the Wolves fixture. This is probably one of the weeks where you do go for it. By Chalobah or Munoz. I think Munoz's hop on point is next week, so probably maybe Chalobah. That water's good. That water is good. Do keep your questions flowing in the chat. We're going to be doing team ratings at 3 o'clock, ladies and gentlemen. 3 o'clock is when we're going to be doing the team ratings. So yeah, keep the likes coming in. Keep the subscriptions coming in. Absolutely smashing it out of the park at the moment. So yeah, keep them coming in. What are we at now? 184. Let's see if we can get to 2. We can definitely get to 200. Easy get to 200, right? Easy get to 200. I reckon so anyway. Bum 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 bum. $4.7 million defender. I probably would look at Keane or Richards. They would be my top picks. My bench is VDV and Alderente. Happy to transfer out War and get a better first sub for Gabriel. Any suggestions? I really do think the best at the cheaper bracket is going to be Michael Keane or Richards. They're my favourite cheap defenders right now within the game. So I probably wouldn't look elsewhere or outside of that for me anyway, personally. Thoughts on Foden? Probably going to be a sell. Yeah, probably going to be a sell. Can you repeat, how do we get our teams reviewed? Of course I can. If you head over to my Twitter, there is a post that literally says, leave your teams right here. You post it under there. Make sure you're following me on Twitter. And when we come round to it, in like 10 minutes, I'm going to try and get through another big batch. We had a lot sent in that first batch, so we'll keep going. Keep trying to progress and keep getting through. Just make your instructions really clear as possible so I can figure out what I'm doing. Show me what chips you've used. Tell me how many transfers you've got left. And of course, as well, tell me what kind of, you're thinking in your head as well if you've got some suggestions. Would you start Virgil, Van Dijk or Gahey? I would probably go Virgil. Yeah. Would you hold João Pedro or sell for Walter Marder? I'd hold him for one more week. We had this chat a little bit earlier in the stream. Yeah, I said I'd hold for one more week. Cheers for that, Andy. Start and die or Stutch and die easy. Which two could I start? Rodon, Paqueta, DCL. I'll probably look maybe at Paqueta and DCL. Like, both could be on penalties. So that's probably where I would be, and that would probably be my most upsided route to going for it. Isak, stick or twist? I probably would have never even gone for Isak in the first place, but if I was with him right now, I probably would maybe move away with him being a bit of a doubt for this week. Gui or Krupi? I think with Evan Nielsen 100% out, that means Krupi's going to start, so he's probably the better pick for the bench boost. Arteta said he's not trained yet, and he's a doubt for game week 9. Those are his exact words. So, yeah. Kudus to Minter or Dorgu to Truffet as Gabriel is out. I mean, if you've got cover, then that's fine, but it looks like you don't. So, maybe go for that move to Truffet. He looks very much like a good option. Minutes seem quite good at the moment. So, yeah, I get it. Any news on Enzo? No news on Enzo, but I think the Champions League midweek start coming off early at half-time to, just save him and just get him back into the flow of things. For me, suggest he's fully fit, ready to go, wouldn't deep it too much. Let's get a captaincy poll going, because I've had a few questions about captaincy this week. So let's get a poll going. 46% of you are not buying Enzo, 40% are. So yeah, let's get a captaincy poll going. Let's get one of these going. Start a poll. Best cap game week 9. So we've got Haaland, Saka. Who else are people looking at? Semenyo's been said a lot. And we'll put Enzo in there for Bants. I think someone put Enzo in there earlier anyway. Anyway, they're going to be the captaincy poll for this week. Get your votes in for that one. Let me know who you're potentially going to be voting for in terms of your captain for the upcoming game weeks. Haaland already with an early, strong lead. Are we shocked? Are we surprised? Quite a few going for Semenyo, though. 13% on Semenyo. So, yeah, hopefully it works out for you guys. Like I said, we're closing in on 200 likes here, by the way, guys. 197. See where we can get to. See if we can smash through that 200. Like I said, today could be the day that we do smash the view record of 571 concurrent. I think Haaland might win it. If I was a betting man, I would say Haaland's got a very good chance of winning it. I would start and die ahead of Saar this week. Isak to Ekitike and Kudus to Enzo. Yeah, those moves make sense to me. I can get on board with those ones. Yeah, I can get on board with those. Haaland is the boring best. He literally is. Because of the form he's in right now, he just is the boring best captaincy pick, but a very, very good captaincy pick. Easy 200 likes. We've absolutely smashed through that barrier, guys. Keep them coming in. Let's see if we can get to 250. There's 450 of you in here, so there's a lot that haven't already liked today's stream. Like I said, make sure you're liking it. Let's push this out. Let's see where we can get this views to today. And die or Krupi, I would go and die. I think as long as you've got like cover this is the thing. If you've got cover for Gabriel, because I'm getting a lot of comments about it. If you've got cover for Gabriel, number 1, don't transfer him out. Number 2, don't bench him. And number 3, make sure that cover is just fit and available. For example, for me, if Gabriel doesn't play, it's going to be Tarkowski or Keane if I make the move, right? So that's where I would go, right? FPL Fran or Golden Goal. Man, I love both of the guys. Like I love Fran. I love Tom / Golden Goal. Both of the guys are absolute legends. But I probably will pick Tom. We're announcing very shortly our FPL Cartel exclusive Discord and podcast together. So that's going to be coming out in the next few days. Hopefully, we're just waiting for some back end stuff. Which, you guys can ask us questions for our exclusive podcast. And, you can get your team reviews and ask us questions, just me and Tom in this Discord, where it's a lot more kind of compact, rather than like now where like you're just spamming them in and stuff. So yeah, and it's cheaper than like roughly what you'd pay for, just asking one question to a big YouTuber on a super chat. Yeah, easy. Yo mate, just got Keane for Anderson. Do you think this was a good decision as Alderente was injured? Yep, that makes sense to me. With the Branthwaite injury, Keane looks like a very good option. Should I do kudos to Minter as I have Richards to cover Gabriel? Yep, I would. Bench Senesi or Gahey? I would benchmark Gahey this week. Yeah, I'd benchmark Gahey this week. Saw Reinders or Gahey as the first sub. I would probably have maybe like Saw. Yeah, I probably would have Saw. It will take your defender, yeah. So prime example for me here, I mean, we have a literal lovely visual representation of it right on my screen right now, is if Gabriel doesn't play, it won't be Krupi that goes into my side. It will need to keep 3 defenders at all times, so it will whack Tarkowski in. Does that make sense for people? So if your team looks very similar to mine, you've got a midfielder or a forward in that first sub position, and wonder why would they not come in, you need to keep 3 defenders within the squad, so it will bring in Tarkowski for me. Okay? Hope that makes sense for everybody. Yeah. Bench Kudus or Goodmanson? Probably Goodmanson. Waltermarder as captain? Maybe. I mean, it's a rogue shout, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it, but I probably still would lean to Haaland this week. He's absolutely smashing the votes early doors on the poll. Get your votes in for the best captain for this week. Keep the likes coming in as well. We're already closing in on 250 likes on today's stream, which is just wild. And yeah, just wild. Yeah, closing on the 500 viewers as well. We're teetering with it. We're just kissing it at the moment. We're just gentle fornication, if you like. Start Caicedo or Kudus? I would say Caicedo's got the better floor. Kudus has the highest ceiling. So if you're a ceiling player, go for Kudus. If you're a floor player, go for Caicedo. Gakpo or Enzo? I think Enzo has more routes to points and probably better secure minutes, so he would be the pick that I would go for. Long term, is Waltermarder or Mateta better than João Pedro? I would probably lean more towards Mateta for number 1 penalty appeal. Number 1, I think that when Visser's back at November, there might be some rotation for Waltermarder potentially. We don't know what that rotation looks like. Both have the pros and both have the cons. I just think the form that, of course, Mateta's in right now, I think he's probably the better pick. Van de Ven and Foden to Timber and Enzo for free and still have free transfers. Yeah, I'd do that. Who should I take Salah out for? Saka, Bruno, Enzo and Semenyo, whatever pick you want to really go for in that midfield area, I guess. Maybe Gakpo if you still think you want a little bit of the slice of the Liverpool fixtures. Potentially. We're going to do our next round of team reviews in 1 minute's time. So, I nearly said 2. It was 1. Just the clock. The clock just tricked me. And yeah, we'll get those next lot done. Boom. Do keep your questions coming in. Keep the likes coming in as well. Let's see if we can smash it to 250. We're up to 226, so halfway there already. Do keep them coming in. And yeah, let's just see where today's stream ends up, man. It could be the day where we get one of the most viewed streams of all time. And that would be pretty cool. I would enjoy that. I would enjoy that. Of course, as well, if you do have any split decisions, we do have the FPL Holy Coin here. This is the bad boy that was responsible for a lot of decisions last year that got me to the 8K mark. It could be this year. You know, it's been a little bit deactive this year. Well, not as many people asking the coin for questions, but yeah. Dubravka or Raya, it's a tough decision. Not for me. I think you pick Raya. I really don't think it's that tough a decision. I think you just go with Raya. Yeah. I think you just go with Raya. That is where my head would be at anyway. So yeah, there you go. Easy peasy. Just do that. Just go for Raya. Done. Right, it has just hit 3 o'clock. Let's do some team reviews, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get some team reviews done and dusted. Let's take a look at some of these. What am I looking for? Twitter. So we've got Andy's. We've got already 20 plus notifications in there. Again, we'll probably not be able to get through everybody's, and it might have to be pushed back to the next one. But we did Andy's last time. 4 free transfers, going to roll and get to Palace next week. Yeah, makes sense. I'm not 100% convinced on Salah. He maybe would be one that I would potentially want to take out for like a Saka. There's no Arsenal attack coverage in there. I think that's probably what I would do with my one transfer. But understand if you want to keep Salah, but I just don't think he's done anything to kind of warrant staying in the team. FPL Tom, please rate my team watching the stream. Thank you very much, man. Appreciate that. Yep, should be good for this week. Should be fine. Like the team. FPL Tom here is my team without any transfers. Have 2 free transfers and 0.6 in the bank. Any suggestions? Foden to Enzo would probably be my suggestion. Or Foden, or if you've got the money, can you get him? No, you can't quite get him. So yeah, it probably would be Foden down to Enzo. Or you could do Reinders all the way down to like a King and then Foden up to a Saka if you wanted to go down that route. Oh no, you can't. You've already got the triple Arsenal. So yeah, it probably would be more than, like I said, the Foden one the other way around. FPL Tom, feeling good, really good about my team. Watkins, Mateta, and Romero to Timber. Game week thoughts on my team, especially with triple Arsenal defence. Yep, seems like you've got the plan all set in place. The team is looking very, very delicious. You've got a little bit of bench cover as well for Gabriel this week, so I think you're in a very good place. That one's a double send, right? Double send, yep. Edzo, one of our channel members, says, I already made 3 moves and brought in Saka and Dye and Waltermada. Now with the Gabriel news, I'm thinking Ekdal and Kudus out for Burn and Enzo. Might be aggressive, but probably not worth the -8. I don't think it's going to be worth the -8 in my opinion. If Gabriel doesn't play, then maybe like Lacroix or Diouf potentially come into the side. So I wouldn't deep it too much, and I don't think they're necessarily like urgent moves that I think you probably need to make, in my opinion. Any ideas, bro? Maybe Kudus to Enzo would probably be a move I would consider. Yeah, that's probably where I could maybe see it going. Yeah, that's probably the move I would make this week. Start and Die or Reinders and Williams or Richards. I'd always start and Die. I honestly believe starting penalty takers ahead of anybody else is the play. And I would probably play, Williams ahead of Richards this week. I have 1 free transfer with TC bench boost remaining. Do you feel I should use the 1 free transfer and make any changes? Do you suggest... No, I think I probably would just roll the transfer. The team looks in a pretty good place. Yeah, I probably would just roll the transfer, start building some up. 2 free, 1.9 million in the bank. Any suggestions? Kudus to Enzo, Reinders to Enzo. If you've got the money, Reinders or Kudus to Enzo. probably would be the moves that I would go for. You've got Mateta in for next week, so yeah, maybe upgrade Porro potentially to like Timber. That would be the other one that I'd maybe look at. FPL Tom, this one's been sent on a potato. Yep, good looking team, very similar to mine, so yep. Bench boost with the Gabriel news, probably not now. Probably not, but you still maybe could get away with it. Yeah, you probably maybe still might be able to get just away with it, but a dicey one. Could be a dicey one. We did the casual inspector one. Who to start, Kudus or Goodmanson? Probably Kudus, yeah. We did that one as well. I need help with the bench order in case Gabriel misses out. I would probably have it the order you're in. Yeah, I probably would have it the order you're in. Do you know what to do this week? Played 0 chips yet? Help me out. I think if Gabriel and Gravenberch would have been available, I probably would have maybe said bench boost. I don't think the team's near like 100% wildcard worthy. Like there's maybe 1 or 2 picks that maybe you could wildcard and restart again potentially. But you got 2 frees, you got some nice ones built, so maybe you can just manage over the next few weeks. I think you either wildcard and take out probably like Cherky, Gravenberch, probably Gokras you don't take on a wild card through. Van der Ven, and is that really worth a wild card? Maybe not. You can probably just get through it with maybe some transfers over the next few weeks. Team for this week, planning on Mbuemo and Dai and Kupri, or Mateta and Dai and Keane for the next week. I would maybe look at the ones... I think next week's. I like next week's moves better than this week's moves, if that makes sense. Bit of cover for Gabriel on the bench. Yeah. Oh, Paqueta. Like, I think you've got to play Paqueta, man, ahead of maybe, like, Minter this week. Yeah, I think Paqueta starts ahead of Minter this week for me. Ramiro, Tarkowski, Reinders to Keane, Rodon, Enzo for 4 free transfers. Yeah, I like all those moves you suggested. Do I bench boost? Getting JP for next week. It would have been a fine week to bench boost, but of course now the Gabriel thing probably devalues the bench boost a little bit in my opinion, so probably not. Just did Gabriel for Calafiori, have 0.6 in the bank. I was 1 away where you stopped at the team rating. Whoops. Yeah, I would not have done that. I would have kept Gabriel in. I don't think that's a sensible move in my opinion. FPL Tom brought in Walter Marder for Gokras this week with 1 free transfer left, planning to roll starting Minter or Thiago. I would maybe lean towards Thiago just for a penalty appeal. Liverpool defensively have been a little bit crooked. I'm going to move my phone because it just started going mental then. It was just stuck on like a wire and it just lost its head a little bit. Bang, bang, bang. How many we got left? We've got 16 left apparently. Hi Tom, stop Bowen or Kudus. I played Bowen this week. Have 0.3 in the bank. Would you wildcard to get Enzo and Gabriel and Mateta? I think you could just maybe downgrade Mo. If you've got like enough free transfers available, you could just downgrade Mo and really like build from there and work around it. The new plan is Van der Ven to Gabriel rather than Anderson. Bring in Lacroix into the 11 and have Kupri first sub in case Gabriel doesn't play and leave the bench boost for another time. Makes sense, Abby. I like the moves you've suggested. How's the team? Looks good. Looks good. Nice team. Hi, Tom. Thoughts on the team? Yeah, again, you've got some bench cover. You've actually not got Gabriel. You've got Timber, so you're all good. You're very good. Was going talk / into Keane, Reinders, Enzo, Romero to Chalobah, and bench boost, but now Gabriel. Yeah, I still think the moves that you've suggested there, though, are all very, very good moves, and moves I probably would maybe consider myself anyway. So, yeah, I think you're good. Love your content, free transfers, and 0.3 in the bank. Deciding on a route, Gvardiol and Reinders to Keane, Rodon, and Enzo. Yep. Or Saka and Kuprig in for Reinders and Gokras. The second one feels a bit more luxury. I like the other one. I think that's probably a bit better structurally for the team. Confused, bench boost. Not really confident in the Spurs defence. Yeah, I probably wouldn't bench boost now with the Gabriel kind of situation. So, yeah, that's probably where I would be on that one. Planning to bring in Minter, Neto, and Ekitike for a -8. Jesus. I don't think like this team's fine. Like I don't think a -8 was necessarily really needed. But your name is FPL Hits, so maybe that's the route you've gone down. Please review Garner first sub. Yeah, looks fine. Oh my days. Oh my days. I don't want to have to wait. I mean, if you don't want to have to wait, then play it and take the risk. But just do be wary, is what I would say. Just do be wary. Rate my wildcard, 0.3 million in the bank. Good looking wildcard. Yeah. Maybe a little bit too over-reliant on the 4 million defenders, potentially. That would be my only concern. I would maybe try and find the funds for a 4.5. Yeah, I just think there's maybe a little bit too like over-reliance on 4 million defenders there. 61k bench boost with this bench. Wish me luck. With Gabriel now being a bit of a doubt. Again, it could still work out, but I think I would probably still prefer to have all 15 available. Who to bench here, Tom? Enzo's got to be in there ahead of like Anthony for me. And no, Enzo in for Juve. Gabriel probably ahead of Anthony in my opinion as well. If you've not played the bench boost, could be a good week to maybe get it out of the way. Final one then, before we do some more in a little bit. I feel like Dubravka versus Raya is a 3 and a 10 pointer versus a 2 and a 6. Willing to take the chance on the upside for Dubravka. Not sure about Goodmanson versus Senesi, but not feeling good on a 9 pointer for the Viking. Fair enough if that's the way you feel. I just look at the Arsenal defence and see them as a ridiculously good unit. But you're 60k overall for a reason. You've taken some big gambles and they've worked. So, yeah. Let's just see what happens, man. Let's just see what happens. Like I said, we're going to do some more team reviews a little bit later on in the stream. We will get those done at 3:30, and then there'll be the final one at 4 o'clock. I need to probably make my moves and decide if I'm going to make my moves. I need to decide what I'm going to do, if I'm going to make my moves or not. That's what I need to decide. Am I going to bring in Enzo? I think I am going to. I think I'm going to take the risk. Going to bring in Enzo. Yeah, that's where we might go with that one. Where are we at in terms of subs for today? Are we at 20.4 yet? Closing in. We need 5. We need 5 people. Like I said, if you're enjoying today's stream as well, make sure you're hitting that like button. Let's see if we can get today's stream up to 250. Would be amazing as always to see. Do keep the questions obviously coming in. I think we're going to make our moves. I think we're going to bring in Keane. We're going to bring in Enzo. I'm just going to quickly make sure that David said everyone's okay. I think they've got their press conference today. Let's have a look. Fantasy. Boom. Aston Villa, no word from Unai Emery yet. That's never good. Forest, Chris Wooden both missed Thursday. Palace, Burnley, Arsenal, Gabriel yet to train after being substituted off with an issue. We've spoke about that one. Brentford, Spurs. Everton, Jared Brandthwaite is ruled out and going under surgery. Nothing on Michael Keane. So I think we make the moves. I think let's make the moves, guys. Let's put the moves into motion. Let's go for it. Bye. I'm happy to do these moves. Enzo in and talk out for Keane. Oh no. Oh no. I think we had a mild I think we cut out there. I got a setting that said OBS disconnected and then OBS reconnected. So apologies for like the sudden like cut out It was only a split second. I'm hoping my internet is completely fine. But, yeah. Hopefully we're all good. Hopefully we're all good. Hopefully we're all good. It froze for a second. Okay, cool. As long as we're back. There we go. We're all back now. Happy days. Good stuff. But yeah, we made the moves and it broke the Wi-Fi. We made the moves and it broke the Wi-Fi. So there we are. Yeah, like I said, I did make the transfers. We've brought in Michael Keane for Tarkowski, and we have brought in Enzo for Caicedo. So, yeah, those are the moves we've made. We've made them. We've gone big. We've gone ballsy. And hopefully they work. Hopefully they work, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. We've got, obviously, one free transfer still left. I'm not going to make any moves for me personally. It doesn't seem like... If Anderson's like going to be back maybe next week or the week after, doesn't really feel like wasting a transfer on it. So let's just take 2 into next week. We can then maybe look at getting Mateta in for João Pedro if we want to go down that route. Or, of course, explore other Crystal Palace assets as well. But for right now, I'm really, really happy with how my team... Genuinely, really, really happy with how my team looks. I was speaking about this with my flatmate Sean the other day about bread and butter, right? What are the bread and butter principles that I look to implement into my game that make me a good FPL manager? And for me, the bread and butter stuff is having those players this season that have those multiple routes to points, that have the, obviously, you know, ability to go and just like I said, points from different avenues. So that whether that be penalties, whether that be DEFCON, whether that be corners, whether that be open play threat. And I think like now looking at that team, if we get Mateta in for João Pedro, all our attackers, bar Krupi, who will most likely be sat third sub most weeks, will be penalty takers, will have something going for them outside of just scoring from open play, if you know what I mean. And they're all good players as well. So I really like how the team is shaping up. I really like it, and I think it's in a really good position. And yeah, let's just see what happens, eh? Let's just see what happens. Haaland absolutely dominating the poll for the best captain for this week as well. Get Anderson out and bench boost. Already bench boosted, my man. Bench boosted last week. We played the bench boost already, and I personally wouldn't recommend burning a transfer on a bench boost, to be honest. What do I think about Goodmanson? Fine enough. Like, he's 4 million, just does the job. Just does the job. That's all those 4 million guys are there for. I can get Enzo if I sell Reinders, but then I have triple Chelsea, JP, Caicedo, and Enzo. Should I do it? Yeah, go for it, man. It's a good move. It's a good move. Chelsea have got some great fixtures coming up. If we look at the Chelsea fixtures, look at these. Where are they? Full profile fixtures. They've got Sunderland, Tottenham, Wolves, Burnley as the next run. Once you get past Arsenal in 13, Leeds, Bournemouth, Everton, like it's just good run of games. So yeah, I think they're all good investments to go for. Tom thinking of Reinders out and Porro out, Senesi and Enzo. Yeah, like both of the moves. Start Reinders or Xhaka. I would actually be tempted to go with Xhaka. I think his baseline is pretty low. Did I wildcard this week? Nope. I wildcarded all the way back in game week 6. I have just banked my transfers all the way. Just banked my transfers all the way, and now here we are. So yeah, there we go. Kudus to Enzo and Reinders to Anderson, or just Enzo in and roll. I would just do Enzo in and roll. I'd probably would leave Reinders in if like you never know what could happen with him. He might all of a sudden become like an option again at some point. So yeah, I wouldn't deep it too much. Yeah, I wouldn't deep it too much. Do keep the questions coming in, guys. Obviously, any questions that you do have, we'll try and answer as many as we can during today's deadline stream. Of course, if you're enjoying the content as well, make sure you are hitting that subscribe button. Make sure you're liking the video, the stream as well. It does push it out to more people. We're approaching 250. We need 8 more people. So if you're in, you haven't liked the stream already, and yeah, go for it. Great stream, Tom. Thanks. If I have 4 defenders, including Gabriel, and a striker, 1 up top, if Gabriel does not play, will the striker come in if he's the first? Yeah, if you're playing 4 defenders, then you'll automatically still have 3, so you'll be fine. I'm at 60k and really hesitant on the wild card. Fair enough, don't go for it. Might be good news for JP that Delap is back soon. Potentially could be meaning that he's back in the 10 where he does look a better player. So yeah. Could be maybe the way to go for it. Tarkowski to Richards and Stack to Enzo. I like both of those moves. I really, really like both of those moves. Top 3 Chelsea, Enzo, Caicedo and Chalobah. I mean, there's maybe Reece James chucking himself in there as well. Have you already played the new FM26? No, I've not played Football Manager in a long time. Unfortunately, I just don't have the time to play video games. I have a full-time job, and then if I'm not doing the full-time job, I'm here making videos for you guys, whether that be TikToks, streaming videos, or I am at the gym, or I'm with my girlfriend. Those are the kind of the things I do outside of work. I don't really have the time just to sit down and play Football Manager. I absolutely loved it in lockdown. I had a save where like me and my friends did like a race to the Champions League, and it was beautiful. It was great. We loved it. So we all started unemployed, 0 badges and stuff like that. And yeah, then I can't remember where I won it at Chelsea in the end. We had like a super team, but the move before I got to Chelsea, I was at Zurich FC in the Swiss League. And I had like just a really young, fun squad that were like doing well in the Europa League. We won the league, we won the cup. Like I was there for like 5 seasons, and the only reason I left was because of this challenge that we had with my mates. Other than that, I probably would have just stayed there forever. I loved it. Differential captain suggestions: Saka, Semenyo, Enzo potentially probably would be up there. Consider making content creation a full-time job, bro. I am trying my best. But obviously it doesn't pay well enough yet with the views that we get. So it's at the moment like a nice, good, healthy side income off the top of my full-time job, but it would not be enough if I were to quit my job today to support my life and stuff like that. So yeah, what people are asking me about what I do for my full-time job. I work within sports broadcasting and more predominantly around planning of stuff. Yeah. Would you justify Neto because of the fixtures? I think when you've got Enzo there for cheaper, right? I think he's cheaper than Neto. I think it's a real no-brainer decision. Just yeah, pick that one. Start Isidore or Gui? I would probably go... I'd probably go Gui this week. Reinders or Saw, who would you play? I would probably go Reinders still. Do you bench boost considering Gabriel is maybe out? I would be a little bit more hesitant on it. I have just noticed that we've hit 250 likes on today's stream. Thank you very much, guys. Love and appreciate every single one of you. And yeah. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Johns. You know, the quality of content we're trying to increase and make it better and all that stuff. So hopefully, if it keeps going, then yeah, it's good. My team got skipped on the reviews. Sorry, bro. If you want to send it in again, we're doing another batch in 7 minutes. So yeah, we'll get some more going as well. Reinders to Enzo for a -4. I don't think I would do the move for a -4, no. Should I risk Gabriel in my lineup or bench? I would just play him. Just risk it. Like I've said this a few times in today's stream. If you've got Gabriel and you've got sufficient bench cover, just play him, risk him. That would be the move I would go for, in my opinion. I have Saw, Richards. I'm just going to play so... I wouldn't do any other moves. I think just like you just suck it up and Richards just comes in. That would be the way that I'd go for. Potentially, yeah, and it probably means that Enzo goes into the 8. But reading some of the other reports, people are saying he's still an excellent box crasher, which he is if you watch him. He'll still have the penalties till Palmer's back. Still got, obviously, corners and stuff like that. So, he's still a good asset. He's still a very, very good asset, isn't he? Still a very good asset. Who would you say has more attacking threat out of Neto and Enzo? I don't think it's more about attacking threat. I think, again, it goes back to this point I've been kind of hammering on about this season. It's avenues and routes to points. Who's got the more to them? And I would say that is Enzo, right? Enzo has a lot more routes to points than a Neto. So, yeah. What are we doing with Gabriel? Like I said, just bench him. Not bench him, sorry. Just start him and leave him on there. Like, just make sure you've got a good first sub. So, yeah, go for it. I would play Reinders ahead of Saar this week. Yeah, Arteta is a notorious liar, by the way, guys. So, he might say someone's out and then they play. Don't read into Arteta's comments probably as much as you probably should think. Like I said, the guy is a very notorious liar. Do keep, like I said, the questions coming in, guys. They've been absolutely terrific today. Lots of questions on people's minds. And it's good. It's good when we get streams like this. I like it. Sometimes they can be a little bit dull, where we kind of everybody knows what move they want to make. But I feel like a lot of people have got different things going off, and it's great. It is great. Reinders replacement, my number one pick is going to be Enzo Fernandez, if you can, of course, afford him. If you can't, then you're probably looking more in the cheaper market, like a Minter or potentially like a Xhaka. Best under 5 million defenders. Gahey currently sits under 5. Richards, with their fixtures, good next week. You need someone for this week. I think Michael Keane is probably the go-to guy as well. Timber over Gabriel for my wildcard. Probably now, maybe given this news, but if your wildcard can still maybe get away with, you know, if Gabriel doesn't play this week but will be back next week, because it doesn't sound like it's a long-term injury from Arteta, then maybe I still would potentially include him on the wildcard, but maybe, like I said, just have that bench cover available for him as well. Where can I share my teams for review? If you head over to my Twitter, there is a post that literally says, put your teams here, we're reviewing them, this will be the place. Just make sure you follow me on X as well, as sometimes they don't always pull through and stuff like that. But yeah, we're absolutely smashing the likes as well today, guys. I'm honestly extremely grateful for you guys. Like I said, we hit 20k last weekend. We're continuing just to press on and plow on and build the channel. And yeah, let's see if we can get to 300 likes on today's stream. See if we can, you know, maybe sniffle in a 500 viewer potentially. I don't think it's going to happen today, unfortunately, but hey ho, we've still got an hour till a lot of the big boys go live, so we'll see what happens. Start Saar or Rodon? I would probably play Rodon this week. Do you think Caicedo will start? Yes, I do. Gabriel is a doubt. He's not out. He's just a doubt. So yeah, there you go. That's what you got to work with this week. He's not out. Just a doubt. It rhymes as well, which is helpful. Looks like we've had another good batch of teams sent over on Twitter and stuff like that. So we'll get those done, like I said, in 3 minutes times. Start Kudus or Ndai. Always Ndai. Always Ndai. Oh. I was up early this morning. Didn't sleep great last night. And, you know when you just, like, get hit with, like, a wave of, like, just all of a sudden, like, tiredness. I just got that wave a little bit. But we're still good. Start Tarkowski or Estev. I would probably be tempted to start Tarkowski this week, in my opinion. Probably going to hit DEFCON. So, yeah, I probably would go with that one. Yeah, that's probably the way that I would go with it. That is probably the way that I would go with it. Hi, Tom. I have 4 free transfers and 0.5 in the bank. Haaland, Pedro, Gokres. Oh, my days. And the team's now gone in the chat. Sorry, mate. Yeah, the chat is moving pretty rapid today. So if you send a big message, it is quite hard to get round to it. Let's have a look. Where are we at in the chat? Start Reinders or Caicedo. Caicedo's got the better floor, and I probably think Reinders doesn't really have the better ceiling. So I'd probably go Caicedo on that one. Putting all your eggs into one basket. Not really. Like if a team's got a good set of fixtures and they're a top team, they will pick up points. It's not a case of you putting your eggs all in one basket. They're just good assets to pick. They're just like very good assets to pick. Like that's just the way that goes. It's just the way it goes, really. And there's always, for me, there is always, especially with top teams, worth tripling up on. Especially Arsenal's defence, given how strong it is. Like, the double up makes sense. Like, just having a single player, probably in a few weeks' time, is not going to cut the mustard. It is going to have to be, you've got double defence to kind of cover it off, in my opinion. So, yeah. Right, let's do some team reviews. Let's head over back to Twitter and see where we're at. See where we are at. Let's have a look. What we had sent in. I can't remember where the last one was. Let's have a look. Was it this one? This one was the last one? Yeah, I think this was the last one. Who to bench? Enzo's got to play ahead of Juve. And for me, yeah, Timber's probably got to start ahead of Anthony. We did these ones. Right, down to two options. Would love to know your thoughts. 1, Bruno and Gui to Enzo and Pedro. No. Agbadou and Reinders to Enzo and... I'm guessing he's a Wolves player. I think he's the Wolves guy, right? If he plays minutes, then yeah. That would probably... The second one would probably be my more preferred option. Hello, Tom. Wildcarded last week. Rolling this week after the Gabriel news. Probably going to be Richard's first sub. Yeah. I mean, Mukulele could... His DEFCON numbers are incredible. So, yeah. Any recommendations? Salah to Saka. Dewsbury Hall to Enzo. Isidore to Cooper Jr. All good moves. All good moves. No Arsenal defence, though, is maybe a little bit wild. But I like all the moves you've suggested. I do feel like, yeah, no Arsenal defence could be a killer over the next few weeks. Wildcard in game week 9. Should I do anything to change? I feel like no Saka could be a mistake here. Yeah, I do feel like no Saka could be a bit of a mistake. But other than that, it is a good team. And if you think Saka's going to be quiet over the next few weeks, then yeah, it's fine. I think he would just be one of the first names I would look for on a wild card. Going Enzo for Kudus, but since Gabriel is a doubt, I'm thinking about going Romero for a decent defender just in case he doesn't play. Senesi Chalobah. I mean, at the worst, your 4 million defender just comes in, right? At the worst, your 4 million defender comes in. So I still probably would make the Enzo to Kudus move. He could very easily come away with a 4 or a 3-pointer against Chelsea, and that would be sufficient enough, and you'd still then have the transfer. So I think that was probably the better way to play it. Wildcard team. Yeah, set up very nicely for Palace next week. Not a bad looking team, that one. Thoughts on this game week team? Yeah. Good. Yeah, good. Might start Koulibaly over Reinders. I probably would. Yeah, I think if I had that decision this week, I probably would. FPL Tom, is my starting lineup okay? Yeah. Yeah, it looks good. Looks good, mate. Looks good. You've got decent cover, of course, if Gabriel doesn't feature. So, yeah, I think you're good. Thank you for everybody that has sent in their teams. We'll do another round at... Is it 4? I think 4's the final round we're going to do. So, yeah. Get your teams sent in over on Twitter. Keep the likes coming in. Keep the subscriptions coming in as well for today's stream. And yeah, we'll see where we end up in terms of subscriptions and viewers and all that good jazz today. But so far, it's been a very good stream. I'm enjoying it. I'm having some fun. Chatting to you guys as always. It's always good fun chatting to you guys though, isn't it? It is always good fun. Start Bowen or Rodon? I would start Bowen. Yeah, Bowen probably would be the one. If you're not following me, X is sometimes a little bit funny as well. So, yeah. Minter, I still like. His minutes look very good. He's probably Brighton's best pick as well. So, yeah, that's where I would go. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words about the stream. Who to buy as the fourth defender, Keane or Rodon? Already have Gabriel, Senesi, Richards, Alderente. I probably would go Keane. His def got numbers are decent, so yeah, I'd probably do that. See, I keep trying to read these long messages that people put in, and literally by the time I've read it, somebody else has flew through. It doesn't help also when someone is spamming. Please don't spam the chat. I will get round to people's questions as and when. I'm going to thank you very much for the moderator that whacked him on mute. Please don't spam in the chat, guys. Like, people are all asking questions. We're trying to get round to as many as possible. Just don't spam. Like, I'll get round to it when I get round to it. All right? If Gabriel is a doubt, would you be tempted to play Sarr over Reinders? Maybe. Maybe. Who is the top three forward picks? Two are obvious, but the third... I think right now within the game, the best three forwards are Haaland, Waltemada and Mateta. That is the best three forwards in the game, but it very easily could change over the next few weeks. Right, I'm going to make it my mission to read this chat here. Right. Hi, Tom. I have 4 free transfers and 0.5 in the bank. Haaland, Pedro, Gyökeres, Saka, Bruno, Stack, Simmons, Reinders, Van de Ven. I would go Simmons to Enzo. There you go. Simmons to Enzo. That would be the move that I do. No, we've got one final round of team reviews at 4. Yeah, we've got one final one at 4. One final one at 4 o'clock. I don't know, man. Like, sometimes X is just a bit weird and it doesn't always sling through some of the teams. Like, some of them just... Yeah, unfortunately, some of them just don't come through. That is unfortunately just the nature of how some of these streams work, unfortunately. I'm going to answer your question, but you are spamming again. Like, please, yeah, get him out of the chat. Like, the best under 5.1 million is Xhaka. It just is. But yeah, get him gone. He's done it. He did it once. He's done it again. Time to go. Hi, Tom. Who should I put instead of Caicedo if I have Semenyo, Saka, Enzo, and Ndai? Who should I put in? Like, do you mean transfer in or just leave them in? Or just leave... I personally would just leave Caicedo in there. Yeah, thank you, Jamie. Like I said, guys, like, we'll try and get round to people's questions as best as we can. Just don't be a dick and don't spam. Like, I always try and help as many people as I possibly can. Sometimes the chat does just move pretty quick. I'm 4 million. Who do I captain outside of Haaland? I have a feeling João Pedro this week. Still captain Haaland. Like, even if you're not in like the best like position right now, it's still very tight between places, and you can move up quite considerably by sometimes just doing the boring moves and the boring picks. Like, it can just work out still nicely. I'm bench boost. Arteta is a liar. YOLO. Yeah, he very easily could be. Would you bench boost with Gabriel in your team? I would be cautious. I would be very, very cautious. Do I do Blue Sky? I don't do Blue Sky, unfortunately. We just do X. And maybe the X reviews are getting a little bit out of hand anyway. They're going a bit nuts, aren't they? Hello, Tom. Would you transfer Caicedo to Enzo? I've done it with my own team, so, I mean, I can't really say no, can I? Yeah, can't really say no. Have a drink. I'm thirsty. Like I don't think people realise this is like it is tiring and thirsty work. How long have we been live today? 2 hours 10 minutes, constantly talking and constantly projecting. Like is yeah. Do keep your questions coming in. Let's see if we can get to 300 before the end of today's stream. What we got in the chat? I meant transfer. I would probably just leave it then, to be honest, mate. It sounds like you've already got a pretty strong midfield, and I don't think there's going to be anybody that, like, you've already got Enzo, so, yeah, I don't see it for this week. Maybe Saw in future weeks, but for now I probably would, yeah. Yeah, he's still a good sub. He hits DEFCON very frequently, so yeah. Do I think Gabriel will play? The fact that he hasn't trained doesn't give me confidence, but like we spoke about quite a bit in the team, then, you know, it's one of those, isn't it, where Arteta is just a notorious liar. This isn't my wildcard team. I wildcarded game week 6. I just took 5 free transfers into this week. And, yeah, here we are now. We've made 4 moves? Yeah. Saka in for Reinders, Coopering in for Gokeres, Caicedo to Enzo, and Tark to Keane. So, yeah, there we go. I have 1 free transfer and enough money to transfer in Bruno or Mbeumo or Timber. Which one would you go for? For me, I've got a very much a bias towards Bruno Fernandes, just again because I'm looking for players that have multiple avenues to points. But I do think Mbeumo could be also a very good option over the next few weeks. Like the fixtures for United are very good. Their expected goals created numbers so far have been very good as well. So yeah. I mean Gavardiol, sorry, you probably are looking at like your Timbers, your Salibas. Van der Ven, you're probably looking at the cheaper market, so Richards and Keane are probably going to be my top shouts. Who should I put instead of Caicedo if I have Semenyo, Saka, Enzo, and Ndai? I honestly don't think there's anyone that I would maybe waste a transfer on there. Like, I think that is fine. I genuinely think that midfield is fine. Like, it's a very good midfield. Pope, Gabriel, Munoz, Akpom. Don't know what that question's got to do with that. Who would you do? Sorry, Reinders to Enzo and Gokeres to Waltermada. I don't know if I'd necessarily do the other bit of the transfer, but it might be necessarily to get Enzo in. But I do feel like maybe swapping out an Arsenal attacker and not bringing in another one with their good fixtures coming up doesn't quite make sense to me. First sub, Rodon or Reinders. I have Bowen in. Depends on how many defenders you've got playing. If you've got 3 playing, then regardless of where you put Rodon, like if he's going to be second sub, he's still going to come in for Gabriel, right? So yeah, I would probably maybe go Rodon though. Best Salah replacement. If I was getting rid of Salah this week, I would probably be looking to bring in any of the midfielders that are on my screen right now. And Ndai, Semenyo, Bruno, Saka, Enzo, all very, very, very good moves. Yeah, very, very good moves. All very good moves for this week. We're gonna do team reviews in about 18 or so minutes. So get your teams sent in for that one. I've seen we've had a few other teams sent in, so I appreciate those ones. Not be too long now. And at the cruise. Do a poll if Gabriel will start. Let's do it. Captaincy 1, yep. Haaland. Were we even shocked? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. Right, will Gabriel start? There you go. There you go. Get your votes in for that. I accidentally ended that poll by mistake. Whoops. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, dear. Will Gabriel start? Yes or no? Right, I'm not going to end it accidentally again this time. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Right. Get out of my way. Close poll. Boom. Yeah, it ended. Can I stick with Sanchez? Yeah, Chelsea have got some good fixtures. Probably been a little bit unfortunate with the XG conceded looking so bad because of like all the red cards and the game states that have changed as well. I use my free hit. Fair enough. If this is a week you feel where you can really maybe get ahead of some people, then yeah, go for the free hit. Four free transfers: Gokeres, Reinders, Stack, Virgil to Coopering, Saka, Enzo and Keane. I like the moves you suggested there. Yeah, I'd be on board with that. Take a hit to do Reinders to Ndai if bench boost. Nah, just bench boost. A lot of people early doors are reckoning that Saka is going to start this game week. 71% so far. So get your votes in for that one. Let me know if you think Saka is going to start this week or if he's going to be on the bench. Should I take Ekatike out on my team? Probably not. Porro to Burn. Yeah. That's how I kind of feel about that one. Cap, Semenyo or Haaland? Ask the holy coin. So tails is going to be Haaland. Heads is going to be Semenyo, okay? Oh, bollocks. It's heads, which I think was Haaland, right? Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. Maybe someone goes back. Yeah. Did I say Saka, by the way? Sorry. Did I say Saka? I didn't mean to say Saka. Yeah, sorry guys, didn't mean to say Saka. I don't know what I said. Semenyo, yeah. Apologies. Like I said, doing this streaming Moloch, it ain't for the faint-hearted. It does definitely take it out of you, and your mind starts to go a little bit. I have no sufficient funds to get Enzo. Should I keep Caicedo, or do you recommend another player? I'd just keep Caicedo. Yeah, I would just keep Caicedo. Professional streamer here. Yeah. Professional streamer. There we go. Semenyo was heads. Thank you for clearing that up. If anybody else wants any of their split decisions decided by the holy coin, do let me know in the chat, and we'll get round to trying to do as many as we possibly can. How about Sanchez for long term? I still think he's a fine goalkeeper. Like at the end of the season, I imagine there's not going to be too much of a discrepancy between Raya and the rest of the goalkeeper pack. Maybe like 20 to 30 points. Sell Bowen if he blanks today. Probably like it would be the move for Mateta next week. So yeah. And at the Kurus, you give me one more chance. Oh yes sir, I can boogie. If I need a certain song, I can boogie, boogie woogie, all night long. Yeah, I'd go and die over Grealish. Play Richards or Thiago for the coin. Heads is Thiago, tails is Richards. It is tails, which I think was Richards, right? There we go. If anybody else has got any other questions for the coin, you know the drill by now. Get your questions in. And put the coin little emoji, and you're good to go. Do you think Cooper will play enough for 2 points? Yeah, Evan Nielsen's out, so he'll probably play enough minutes. Professional singer as well. Like I'm a jack of all trades, really. So yeah, if you want me to do any like kids' birthday parties, weddings, sign me up, guys. Sign me up. If you were here for last week's deadline, Then, of course, you know some of the singing. You heard some of the bars we were getting off. So, yeah. That's what you could expect from me. Would you start Krupi ahead of Sarr? Probably, yeah. Thoughts on Foden to Gordon? It's all right. Yeah, all right. I think I would prefer to go for Enzo, but that's just me speaking. How can I hire you? Drop me a DM, bro. Drop me a DM. We can do a bit of like Mambo number 5 if you want. Hi, would you move from Saliba to Gabriel? No. Would you sing at my wedding, please? Hell yeah. You pronounce Krupi very weirdly. Probably just my my awful pronunciation skills. It's like Krupi, right? Krupi. Start one of Saw, Rodon, or Longstaff. I would probably be tempted to go with either Rodon or Longstaff. Yeah, that's where my head would be at on that one. Let's see if we can try and hit 300 likes on today's stream. By the way, guys, we're absolutely smashing it out of the park. I think we need like 17 to go. So if you're enjoying it, make sure you're doing that. Was thinking triple captain. Nah, I probably won't go for Semenyo. But it's a single game week. You never know. Like, you could just absolutely smash it. Work your way up to the higher notes. Time the bars. Yeah. Enzo CDM. Yeah, sure. How did I do in UCL? Very good week. 10k rank gain up to 9k now. Ask the coin, should I bench boost this week? Alright, this is for everybody thinking about bench boosting, by the way, on this coin one. Tails is yes, heads is no, okay? It is tails. So make of that what you will. Make of that what you will. Semenyo TC, no, not for me. João Pedro to Mateta next week for you. Yeah, I think that's going to be the move. I think that's going to be a very popular move, especially if João Pedro blanks this week. That is probably going to be a move that might happen quite a lot on Saturday night. So, yeah. Would you buy Burn or a Chelsea defender like Chalobah? I would be tempted to maybe look at Chalobah. I'd still play and die ahead of it. I'm definitely bench boosting now. Go for it. Go for it. The coin has spoken. You know what to do. Can Semenyo get a haul? Of course he can. Of course he can. Of course Semenyo can get a haul. Easy peasy. Easy peasy, lads. Easy peasy. Who should I start? Rodon, Chalobah, or Gabriel? I would start Gabriel. Like, again, going back to the advice that I've given to people in today's stream is if you've got Gabriel, play him. Just make sure you've got that. Whoever on the bench is ready to come in, ready. Ha. Nice, Andy. I like that. I like that. Krupi for me ahead of Saar. I've said that a few times already. Would you start Rodon over Juve and Van de Ven? Probably this week, yeah. We're giving Leeds as decent clean sheet percentages. I would probably, yeah, look at that. Can you give us some tips on how to get a girlfriend? Learn to love yourself first. Genuinely, like, learn to be happy on your own, and then, like, others will appreciate that. So yeah, learn just to be happy with yourself, and just be polite, be a bit of a gentleman, but don't go too much into the realms of being like a complete nice guy and complete fold over. Like, have your boundaries and have your limits still. And if somebody crosses those limits, then feel free to, you know, tell them that. And if they continue to do it, then you walk away. But ultimately, just be yourself, be comfortable within your own skin, and learn just to love yourself really first. Like, if you don't feel confident in whatever, maybe you're a parent or how you feel as a person, then work on yourself first before you open yourself up to like other people, ultimately. that is what I would say to people. Is honestly just, yeah, go for it. Advice on how to be productive. Yeah, I guess this is kind of what I've done over the past few years, is ultimately see what sort of life you would like in 5 years, right? What are the things that are working well in your life right now, and what are the things that are not working, right? So for me, a couple years ago, I was a bit of a loser, just played video games, was very self-conscious about like how I looked and stuff, and now I am very much like, I'm all about work, and I've put in a lot of work over the past few years, like on my body and stuff. Like, I'm pretty happy with how I look. I feel a lot more comfortable within my skin, and I think ultimately it is just starting with small habits first and building them up daily. Like, just start with a small thing and keep going and keep grinding, and ultimately look at what you're aiming for, and don't be so focused on the early results. Like, a lot of people will probably like create YouTube channels or create TikToks and then be like, well, I've got no views or I've got no followers, and it's like, because you've got to learn the skill. No, like, you're very, very lucky if you just start and you've all of a sudden got like views and everything's working 100% correct. That is extremely lucky. For a lot of us, it's about learning. It's learning through failure, and it's just getting better every single day and making sure, like I said, you're hitting those numbers every single day. You're doing the right things. All right, that is enough deep chat for today. We can have some more deep chats a little bit later, but let's focus back on some FPL. We've got team reviews in 5 minutes, and yeah, let's see if we can get to 300 likes on today's stream. Let's keep plowing through it, see how close we can get. We're 9 away, so it'd be great if we could, of course, like I said, hit that 300 like barrier. Do keep the questions obviously coming in, guys. Anything you want to ask me, feel free to. We're happy to go for it. What would you do with Alderente and Anderson on your bench? Ooh, that is a toughie. I would maybe be tempted to potentially move on Anderson more than Alderente. Like, Alderente is a 4, so who are you realistically swapping him for? Another 4 that, yeah, kind of doesn't really gain you anything. I think Anderson to maybe like a Richards with some good fixtures coming up for Palace, or a Keane would probably be the play, Ben, to be honest. I would that would probably be where I would bet. Nah, but you're doing honestly a good thing, Jamie, man. Yeah, you got 2 great kids. You've been in a relationship for 15 years. You're doing something right, man. So yeah. Take the -4 or not? I don't think I would take the -4 for it. I think, like, ultimately, like, Keane's not got the easiest fixture this week, so I doubt I see a clean sheet there. I doubt I see a clean sheet for Richards. Maybe Leeds keep one, but is that going to be worth a free transfer? I think the free transfer is more valuable than getting like a little bit of cover if Gabriel doesn't play. For me personally, anyway, that's how I feel. I don't really see it. And like, if you are going to pick up a 4, it's maybe going to be like a Rodon or a Goodmanson, and their DEFCON numbers have been like very flaky at best. I personally think the strategy for me would just be pray that the Gabriel plays. I don't think it's worth the minus. That's just my opinion. Dubravka or Pope, who to start? Who Newcastle got this week? It's a good fixture for Newcastle. I'd be tempted to just put Pope in. Yeah. Salah out, Saka in. Yeah, I think if you're looking for obviously any players to get rid of Mohamed Salah for this week, I would look at any of the midfielders that are in the side. Yeah, they're all great. Should I buy Munoz now for Van de Ven since Gabriel is injured? I would just hope, like, Van de Ven can definitely cover this week if you need to. I would save it. Like, you never know what could happen. Like, there's a midweek game for Palace next week as well. Maybe he gets caught. Maybe he gets injured in that one. So, yeah. Love that from you, Andy. That's cracking. Riders or Kudus? I would play Kudus. Play Burn or Minter. I probably would actually take the gamble on Minter this week, you know. And Buemo plus Timber plus Calafiori or Bruno plus Gabriel on a free. I mean, with the news around Gabriel being a bit of a doubt, probably leaning more towards option 1, right? Kudus to Enzo. Yeah, I think that's going to be quite a popular move that a lot of people are going to be looking for as well this week. Make sure you're hitting that like button, guys. We're 1 away, I think. Yeah, 1 person away from potentially looking at a 300 like stream, which is it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since we hit a 300 like stream. So yeah, thank you very much. Should I start Munoz or Goodmanson? I'd take Goodmanson this week. Like Leeds have got decent clean sheet odds for this week. Bowen out, Nick in. I would give Bowen this week. It's a good fixture, so yeah. Start Juve, Esteve, or Van de Ven. I'd be tempted to start probably Esteve or Van de Ven ahead of Juve. Again, I probably would just look at the clean sheet percentages for this week. I imagine Esteve probably beats Van de Ven. Start Mateta or Minter. I would... Ooh, I never like benching penalty takers. I never do, but Arsenal are such a good and prolific defence that I probably would maybe go Minter. Yeah, I probably would go Minter. Thank you very much, guys. You've absolutely just smashed the like button out for me. Very, very grateful. And yeah, it's just gone 4 o'clock. Let's get the final round of team reviews done for today's stream. All right, let's get them done. Right. What have we got here? What have we got here? Where were we up to? I can't remember where we were up to. I imagine we did that one. We did that one. We did that one. I think we're here. I think we're here. I think we're here. Might start Coopery over Reinders. Yeah, I would probably go for that one. Is my starting lineup okay? I think I remember doing that one as well. I think this is where we're at. Apologies if I missed somebody's team. Yep, that team looks fine for this week. No issues, no dramas. Free transfers, 0.2 in the bank. Ooh, I'd get Salah down to... I think I would get Salah down to Saka or Bruno. Rice then to Enzo. And I think I would maybe leave it there. That's probably where I would be at with my transfers. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. Or I would do Salah down to like a Bruno or Salah down to an Enzo. And then maybe like Anderson or Dewsbury Hall up to somebody. Like an Ndai. Those could be moves you could make as well. Please tell me what I should change. Nothing. I think you're in a good position, man. I think you're in a very good position. Yeah, like the team. Dan says, any recommendations for defence? Would you take a -4 for an Arsenal defender? Not now that maybe Gabriel's a bit of a doubt heading into this week. I probably would just leave it. Yeah, I probably would just leave it. Xhaka over Mateta and Rodon over Richards. Rodon ahead of Richards. And I think I probably would still go like that. Yeah. I think the bench, though, I probably would have Mateta just in case he does go and score and Gabriel comes in. A little doubtful of my goalkeeper. Just keep him. Like, I'd just leave it. I think you're fine. I think you got it the right way. Free hit active. Nice team. Salah, though, I don't think Salah's the Liverpool pick. I think it's Gakpo's the Liverpool pick right now. Hi, boss. This is my team at the minute. Got 1.3 million in the bank. Thinking of swapping Reinders for Enzo and might go for the bench boost. I don't see a better game week before 18. What do you think? Yeah, it is just I guess. Like, I like the move you suggested, Reinders for Enzo. 100% would do that regardless this week. And yeah, with you having Coopery, like, it could just be the only week you can maybe get this out. It is just all around maybe a bit of risk with Gabriel. So I'd say be prepared to see Gabriel bench. But if he plays, then yeah, it's a perfectly fine week to do it. So I guess you're kind of just fully hoping that he is fit and available to play. So yeah, maybe just back it, see what happens, all right? See what happens. I'm using all 4 free transfers for this team. Overkill, lol. No, that looks a good team. That looks a very strong team. I like that. I like that, mate. I'm backing you. Bench boost, like I said, just very similar with the last one with Gabriel. It's hard to say, right? It is really hard to say what's going to happen. Arteta could be lying and the bench boost might come off and you might be all good and dandy. It could be one of those, though, where it all goes to shit very quickly if Gabriel doesn't play. So if you've got the cojones for it, fair play, go for it, enjoy it. Right, this is going to be the last one we're going to do. So thank you very much for sending these in today, guys. Of course, make sure you start getting yourself a little bit earlier to the stream. So when we do these in future, you will be around for them. Yeah. Yep, looks all good to me. Probably in the right order and all that good jazz. Right, let's crack on then for the final probably 25 minutes of my stream today before all the big boys do go live. And yeah, let's just smash out some questions. Any questions you do have, get them in the comments. We'll try to answer as many as we possibly can. Like I said, if you're enjoying the stream, hit that subscribe button. And yeah, hit that like button as well. Let's just see where the likes can go to, I guess. See where we can get them. Like I said, if teams don't show up, just make sure to hit that follow button, because sometimes that can be the reason why. Just there's loads of stuff. Am I crazy for going Goodmanson and in ahead of Saar this week? No, it's a good fixture for Leeds. Like, the clean sheet numbers are there. It could pay off. It very easily could pay off. So I wouldn't doubt yourself too much. Pope, Gabriel, Burn, Timbers. And I see. Good looking team. Yep. Please, may I ask what on earth I do with this wild card? You build a good team. You build a good team is what you do. And ultimately, if like I was building the wild card this week, it would look very similar to what I'm probably projecting right here. You would just swap Anderson out for oh my god, Richards, and maybe João Pedro for like Mateta, and just put Cooper in for the week. That is probably what like a wild card, if I was building one right now, would very much look like. So yeah. Do keep your questions coming in, guys. Anything you want to know before the deadline, do of course let me know. We're here to answer questions. We're here to help you guys out. We're here to have some fun as always. And yeah, just vibe out. Enjoy ourselves, I guess. Like I said, the ideal wildcard probably wouldn't look too dissimilar from what is currently being showed right now. Sorry, I'm just trying to give my voice a little bit of leeway. Like, I stream midweek for like 3 hours. Stream today pretty much close for 3 hours. So, yeah. I do try and take some little breaks in between streaming and stuff and get some water and keep hydrated. Just because, as people probably know, last year I got tonsillitis really bad. And that was probably from me streaming all the time for like 4 hours. Nah, I don't think I'd make that move. Thoughts on holding the wild card until 13? Yeah, it's definitely plausible. It's definitely plausible. I think you've just got to maybe see yourself in a position where, am I missing out on like price rises, or am I missing out on fixture swings this week? Or like for the next few weeks? If you are, then maybe get it active this week. But if you can cover it with transfers, like for example, I wildcarded back in 6 and banked as many transfers as I possibly could. So now we were in a position where game week 8, game week 9, I can get a very similar team to what people are probably wildcarding into either last week or this week, right? So that is the position I picked up from my good friend Golden Goal. He basically said you want to be in a position where your team should look like it's, or be close where it's like that's where the wild card, at that wild card window, my team looks similar or a couple players off, when of course you've already used a wild card. So, you know, we've had a few people in today's chat asking me, is this a wild card team? Is this my wild card team? And I'm like, no. So I think this team is in a pretty good place right now. Gvardiol plus Reinders to Enzo and Chalobah. Yep. Yeah, the important thing around that is, like, it tops you up to 5. It doesn't give you 5. It tops you up to 5 in game week 16. That is important to know. So if you go in there with 3 transfers, for example, into game week... into game week... Oh my god, what was the game week? Game week 16... then you'll just get 5. Like, you won't get 5 additional. You won't have 7. You'll just get up to 5. So yeah, there you go. I still don't think he's a great pick. I still don't think he's a great pick regardless of whatever injury is. I think there's just far better picks in the game. What is my rank? My rank right now is 1.6 million. Yeah, 1.6 million for me. Is Bruno safe against Brian? Yeah, of course he is. I will probably stand on my Bruno propaganda box in a bit, but I do think he's a very good pick. Like, again, what I'm looking for is just multiple avenues to points. And as I've spoken about, these just bread and butter players that have more than just open play threat. These are your bread and butter guys. So yeah. Best 5 mil or less defender, Keane or Richards, in my opinion, are the standout two right now. So yeah, that's where I would be at. Bench boost or Gabriel is unlikely to pay. I think that's kind of the risk you have to take with the bench boost this week is openly know that Gabriel could play. It's Arteta. He could feature, or he might just miss out completely, and then you're left with 14. So it's a big risk this week, but if it gets it out the way and gets it done and you don't really see a position for your side and you don't want to obviously have it knocking about, you maybe want to drop down to some cheaper players next week, I get it. Get it out of the way. Bruno versus Sarr. Again, I probably still pick Bruno. Yeah, I'd probably still pick Bruno. Should I transfer Gyökeres for Walter? I personally wouldn't. I would give Gyökeres another fixture. Scored in midweek as well, so maybe his confidence is going to be a bit better. Maybe Bruno's money could be used better in defence. I don't know, you know. I think with Defcon, like the 4.5 million guys definitely can pull their weight, though. And Dye ahead of Salah this week. Penalties, yeah, just an easy pick for me anyway. Do keep your questions coming in. Keep the likes coming in as well. Let's see if we can get to 350 before we finish up on today's stream. You guys have been, just like I said, immense. Genuinely immense. Yeah, a lot of time for you guys. Should one triple up on Palace? This is the thing. They're gonna have European football. Their fixtures are very, very busy. They've got obviously Carabao this week. Then they've got a game. Then I think there's maybe another game, or there might be a European game in between that game. Then they go to the international break. I think I looked at it last night, right? Palace's next free midweek is in January, but I think in that midweek is where FA Cup games go. So I don't even think they have a midweek then. So their next probably free midweek is going to be January for Crystal Palace, by the way. So these guys are going to be playing a lot of football. A hell of a lot of football. So do bear that in mind when looking at Palace assets. They are going to be playing a lot of football. That is the reason that I went Keane over Richards this week. was because I'm looking at it and going, Richard's got benched this week. There's some in December there are midweek games, and if Richards can't handle doing 3 games a week, then he might miss out on some of those games further down the line. Whereas with Keane, there is no competition while Branthwaite's away. Of course, as well, he is just going to play 90. As well, he plays for Everton, who aren't bad at defending. His DEFCON numbers are good. They have no European football. They have no Carabao Cup. So their next lot of midweek fixtures is going to be in the Premier League or, of course, in the FA Cup in January, February time. So for me, that is why I'm a little bit hesitant on like tripling up on Palace right now. So yeah, it is one of those that is the concern for me in the back of my mind around Palace is, of course, that rotation and stuff like that. So yeah, that's where I'm at with it. But yeah, is Senesi, Saliba, Chalobah and Reece James a good back four? Very much a good back four. I like it. I think that's got like a nice blend of like DEFCON-y clean sheets and attacking return players. I'm a bench boost if Gabriel going to play. What are the odds he starts? I mean, I can't really put like odds on it. Like you either trust Arteta or you don't. I mean, if you look at the poll in the chat, I would maybe back that. Like, got nearly 500 votes and 65% of people believe he's going to play. So I would probably maybe go down that route. That would be the route I would go for. Enzo or Ndai, probably Enzo this week, better fixture, but obviously both have multiple avenues to points. Munoz or Estev, I'd probably go Estev this week. Should I bench Gyökeres this week? No. Gordon out or keep. I'd still keep him, like he did well in the Champions League midweek. There's still the next 2 fixtures for Newcastle are very good from an attacking perspective, so I think I probably would keep him. Overall, is it better to hold and die or Saw? Saw and Palace have like a really good run over the next 6 game weeks once they get past Arsenal. And Die will go off to AFCON. So Saw automatically doesn't have that and will probably be the better pick. So yeah, and Die at some point is going to disappear from the game. Start Reinders or Ruter. I'd probably take the gamble on Ruter. Like I said, for me, it probably would be maybe like Keane, potentially. Or like if you've got the money to go up to like a Timber or a Saliba, they're probably the ones I would look at. Probably would play Van der Ven ahead of Munoz this week. Should I bench Gab for Munoz? No. Play Gabriel. If he doesn't play, then just make sure you got the first sub sorted and stuff. First bench Reinders or VDV? Probably VDV. Start Gui or João Pedro? João Pedro. I can't remember if Saar is going off to AFCON or not. I can't remember. I don't think he is. Someone correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. Where are we at in terms of likes on today's stream? Obviously, I know quite a few of the big boys are probably going to be going live in the next few minutes or so. So, obviously, that is where we wrap up. Obviously, we let them go and do their things. But for now, we are live. We're answering your guys' questions. We're trying to help you out as best as we possibly can. So, yeah, if you've got any questions, do let me know. But like I said, my voice is going off a little bit. I think Saul goes as well. So, I think then maybe it goes to Ndai, potentially, then. If that's the case. Senegal, right? Senegal. I think he's Senegal. Someone correct me if I'm wrong if he's not from Senegal. Who would be your favourite Gabriel replacement? I honestly wouldn't replace Gabriel. I wouldn't buy another player to replace him. It could just be a 1 week injury and he's back. He's just a doubt. He's just a doubt for the game. Thank you, Jamie, for letting us know that Saar does go to AFCON as well. Tarkowski or Gyökeres? I think you go Gyökeres. Yeah, I think you go Gyökeres. Is Cucurella worth getting for Sunderland? Depends who your other defenders are. First bench, Juve or Van de Ven? Probably Van de Ven for me. Start one, Kudus, Grealish, Caicedo. Probably either Kudus or Grealish would be the ones I'd start. Am I from Nottingham? Yes, near Nottingham. Should I bench Gabriel and start Van de Ven? No, play Gabriel. Play Gabriel. I've got Senesi, Van de Ven, Gabriel, and Gahey. Nice, good back line. What was your original question? Worth getting Cucurella? Not for me. I think you've already got some decent defenders in there. I don't think I would probably take any of them out. Any must picks for a wild card this week? I think probably Haaland is a lock. Enzo seems very good. An Arsenal defender. And Saka, probably your picks. Cool. Thank you very much for that in the chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, Xhaka's a good option. I like Xhaka. Not Andy and Rice. He absolutely loves and adores Rice, don't you? You absolutely love and adore him. Oh dear, what can I say, eh? What can I say? You absolutely love and adore Rice. Right, guys, I think we're going to leave it there. I'm absolutely shattered. Today's stream has completely taken it out of me. We've been going for pretty much close to 3 hours. Obviously, a lot of the big boys are going live now anyway. So I'm going to let them go and do their thing. I appreciate everybody that's been in the chat. It's been a cracking stream. Really good for views. Really good for, obviously, likes as well and stuff like that. So, yeah, we're going to leave it there. We'll let the big boys go and do their thing. Let them go and smash it out of the park. And, yeah, we will be back, obviously, with an upload tomorrow evening. And I'll see you very shortly. Oh, we've just had a super chat in. Hi from Qatar. Saliba or Timber? I would go Timber. There you go. Timber would be the one I would go for. All right, we're going to leave it there. Thank you very much, guys. Best of luck to everybody this game week. And yeah, I will see you very shortly. Like I said, best of luck for the game week. I'll post my team on Twitter.